Bring out your name!
He's not dead. He's not dead!
Harry, you're alive!
Hey, not so fast.
I woke up still not dead again today.
Not so fast, you guys over there.
The internet said I had passed away.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so
If I
fast.
died, I wasn't dead to stay.
Not so fast, my friend.
I woke up still not dead again today.
Not so fast, my friend.
Please keep this playing the entire show.
Well, if we can't have fun at our mistakes, if we can't poke fun at ourselves, what can we do?
That might have been the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Welcome
I love Willie Nelson.
to Wire with Diesel the Idiot and Cole Bryson.
That
Why
is
am I an
great.
idiot? Because yesterday, and this is something, Cole, I hadn't even thought about until that moment yesterday. In the show, I would not have said it. I would not have probably made that mistake if just this instantaneous brain fart hadn't happened. But for some reason, we got on the topic of the Upset Picks Challenge.
Do we have the
I'm
audio, by the way?
looking down at the middle section, the lower section of the rankings, and I see my name down at the bottom, and I see Lee Corso's name unchanged from the 13.5 points that he had at the beginning of the season. And my brain sort of conflated some other major passings in college athletics, Lou Holtz and Kirk Herbstreit's dog, and they all just got combined into my brain. And I was like, Lee Corso died. Lee Corso. I was like, and I was convinced in that moment, I was convinced that Lee Corso had passed away. And I was dead wrong.
Do we remember what segment that was? I'm pulling the audio, by the way.
I don't know. If I could have found it, I would have used it in that intro.
What were we talking about? We were
if I'm
talking
going to
about
make
upset
fun of
picks,
myself,
right?
I would have gone all the way making fun of myself.
It was the 5 o'clock hour. We were talking upset picks.
I believe it would have been the 5 o'clock segment. The 5 o'clock.
I think I found it. I think I found it. I don't know for sure. But if it's the 5
It's
o'clock
just going to keep getting
segment.
worse.
There were multiple times.
Okay, here's Tom.
There's
So
Tom.
we're on the right
It
track.
was after Tom.
People, I was clinch a playoff spot.
I think Tom went for 36 minutes.
The next
All right, here we go.
I'm pulling it up right now. Dan sent me.
Here we go.
Yeah, it was after this.
Last year.
Here we go.
That's a lot. Let's see. FU
think
Ashley
by the
finished with 40
Almost there, right?
points.
Yep.
Funny
And
thing
getting
is,
closer.
I kept giving Ashley possible
I
picks.
think this is it right here.
Don't do that, by the way, this year.
You're right.
Yeah.
You give her like a list of 5, which is kind of what I do with Jess.
I was discombobulated because I was thinking
and
about my
she
wife
picks-
kicking my ass in the
tries to
Upset Picks
pick one of the
Challenge.
team colors or
This is the
something.
greatest show
Whatever,
audio
you know?
ever.
That's how people can try and bracket.
Yeah. Dan, thanks for the call. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's what I was just going to say. How did MR do?
Missing piece, Diesel, of
Here we go.
veteran leadership
I think this is
in a
it.
clubhouse to take you to the next step.
Maybe.
This Dallas defense was already going to be. That's true. I
We may
just
have to search
realized
for-
this, Cole.
No.
Now, there are some extenuating
I
circumstances
think
here,
this is it.
but I lost to a dead guy last year.
Oh,
in the upset
no.
picks. Who died? Lee Corso.
No.
Lee
He's
Corso
still alive.
had 13.5 points
you
in
see
the
him
upset picks challenge. And I thought for a And minute, then- I thought he really died. Remember, we locked him in. Out of respect for Lee
I was
Corso.
convinced in the moment.
Listen to me.
That was
Listen to
right.
I
me.
don't want to
Listen
see
to me right here.
Lee falling from 13.5 to 11.5 to 9.5.
But he's not. This is where I was like, this is the part where I was like, what, wait. See, you say you had a brain fart.
Yeah.
What you did is you caused me to believe that I had a brain fart. And here I was. Here we go, right here.
Not really dead, right? Well, he is. He is dead.
You're the
you had this deer in the headlights look like, oh, did it happen?
silence. It was just dead air. Okay, hold on. I gotta back it up.
Challenge. And I thought for a minute, I thought he really died. Remember, we locked him in. We, out of respect for Lee Corso,
I thought
we locked him in at the 13.5
quit the
points.
show.
We're like, I don't want to see
Left the
Lee
show.
falling from 13.5 to 11.5 to 9.5.
But he's not really dead, right?
Well, he is. He is dead. Lee Corso?
Oh my God! I was convinced. I thought it. I believed it in my heart.
You didn't know that?
Did you hear
Why am I drawing a blank right now? Lee, Coach Corso? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Not so fast, my friend. College game day? Yeah. No, I know who Lee Corso is. Coach Corso? I didn't know he died. What? When did he die? Last year. Oh, I forgot about that. That's bad.
I'm just gonna put my headphones down and walk away.
This is so good. I just forgot Kirk Herbstreit
Oh, my
crying
God.
on TV. We were all crying
Now,
with him.
now the best part is you had me convinced right here. You had me convinced right here.
Was I crying? No, I wasn't. Evidently, I wasn't crying. I forgot that he died. That is.
You thought it too for a second.
You did. You convinced me.
I'm blank on that. I mean, did I just miss an entire? I don't know. He's not alive. Am I that wrong? Wait a minute. This is news to me. When did he die? I have no idea.
I believed it.
He's dead.
1,000%.
No, he's not. He's not still alive. When did he? I mean,
I think this is when the text started coming in.
Real time. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So I started Googling it frantically.
I thought he died. How is he 91 and still alive? Did you dream? I thought he died. Did you have a dream? No. You could ask me 100 times. I thought Lee Corso died last year. Oh my God!
I mean, to be fair, he's been on death's doorstep for a long time.
Oh my gosh! I'm telling you, the 3 years we've done this show, I think that is by far the best audio ever. In the 3 years, that's it. I mean, that is the best audio ever.
I was getting tremendous levels of hate on the text line, and deservedly so. Like, I love Corso. I loved Lee Corso. Not anymore. No,
I'm hot and sweaty now because I'm laughing so hard. That's a promo within a matter of an hour, by the way.
I don't know. Again, like had I not had reason to look at the Upset Picks Challenge and seen Lee Corso's name frozen there at 13.5 points. And then in my mind, I was thinking, like, why did we do that? Oh, yeah, he must have passed away, right?
Died.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
He came on to the show for like, what, 2
weeks or
3
2,
weeks or something
like
to start the season last year. Hey, don't ask me about my memory of these events.
My word.
And then he just disappeared.
I'm telling you, man. We've had some funny calls. We've had some funny moments.
God.
That is the all-timer right there. August the 17th, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you did it because we could almost say it was staged just to pretend like it was great radio because all of a sudden the text just bam, 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 bam.
And then we start, you got some messages when you walked into the Burns Club event yesterday.
The first person last night said, Lee Corso's not dead. And it wasn't like way after the show. It was so good.
And we get a message from, a message sent to us from Shane Barrett to your and our inboxes. Kirk Herbstreit took a photo with Lee Corso and his dog. Like, days ago, August 13th, this photo was posted. I mean, Lee Corso does look rough. In my defense, he does look rough. He is 91 years old, but he's still kicking.
So can we hear that audio again?
Which one?
The Willie Nelson. That is a great montage.
Yeah, here we go. Starting from the hang on.
Starting
from the beginning right now.
Bring out Chitty!
He's not dead. He's not dead!
Harry, you're alive. Hey, not so fast.
I woke up still not dead again today.
Not so fast, you guys over there.
The internet said I had passed away.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so
If I
fast.
died, I wasn't dead to stay.
Not so fast, my friend.
I woke up still not dead again today.
Not so fast, my friend.
That's where the promo's going to start. I'm going to have you send me that audio. And then it's going to be your voice saying, he's dead, isn't he? He's dead, right? I know we shouldn't make a promo about a dead guy, but I can promise you, well, he's not dead.
Is it bad juju for us to play that or to put that on a promo now? Because it could lead to a little less embarrassment for me and a little.
Oh, you're saying it's going to make him die?
Could.
He's going to die. Everybody's going to die eventually. Yeah. I mean, but let me tell you, when you have radio gold, you've got to put it out there. You've got to make promos, and that is the best. I mean, best radio moment we've had since we started the show.
The best moments are the ones that come completely unscripted.
Yes,
out of nowhere. And in that moment, I was convinced.
I think like Rick and Greer Diesel.
I was dead wrong.
I think in the past, like Rick and Greer and Tom have had some ones ranked above you. But you came in yesterday and you just knocked them off the pedestal. You did. You killed them. And let me use a different phrase. You whooped them. Whooped them.
I didn't mean to. I didn't even know I was playing on the same field.
It
but
was
here we are.
so good, though. What a segment. That was the best.
Oh, how many Tolos can name the 3 different movies that those movie drops came from?
Oh. Was Forrest Gump one?
No. It was not one. Bring out your dead.
What was the other ones?
He's not dead.
And the third one?
Harry, you're alive.
Home Alone?
No.
Harry and Home Alone?
Harry was the name of one of the bad guys in Home Alone.
But that was
Harry,
a good guess, though.
Harry and Marv.
Harry and Marv. I love Home Alone.
That one was from Dumb and Dumber.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah. The end of Dumb and Dumber when
I have seen
when he's wearing a bulletproof vest and the bad guy comes in, shoots him, and he thinks he dies. He hops up, starts firing.
Wow.
And Harry, you're alive.
Dan
but you're
B,
a horrible shot.
Dan B says Life of Brian.
He is almost correct.
I hadn't seen that either.
That is that's from Holy Grail, right?
Life of Brian is a movie?
Yes, it's a Monty Python movie.
Gotcha.
You know who Monty Python is?
No.
God. Monty Python.
I just say gotcha like I just, whatever. I just go along with you. I have no idea.
Monty Python was like a sketch comedy troupe from the UK in the 70s, 80s. And Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail is one of the greatest comedy movies of all time.
Okay.
It is Holy Grail. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I like it.
Bring
I like
out
it. But
your
no,
dead.
I didn't know any of those 3.
And then the second one is from Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Okay.
Yeah. Texter's right, Holy Grail. Another Texter's right, Monty Python is the first one.
We've got some movie buffs out there. I mean, Dan's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the movie buff himself, but we've got a lot of movie buffs.
Do you know where this is the transition into the actual topic, 12 minutes into the show? Do you know where Lee Corso coached his college football?
Navy. No, Notre Dame.
Nope.
No, it starts with an N.
Well, it kind of sounds like it starts with an N. Indiana.
Well,
yeah,
we can spell
Indiana.
Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Indiana.
More
Can
like
we do
into
that?
ground if you're Lee Corso.
Oh man, that's for.
it's
So
tough.
what you're saying is Lee Corso built Indiana to what it is now.
He
right?
did build them to what they are now. And as we were talking about this yesterday, Cole, your camera's following you. It stared at the back
No,
of
it
the
didn't
computer
really?
screen. Yeah,
Did it?
it followed you.
Sorry. I'll fix it.
Tom says, are y'all seriously talking about Clemson again? Tom, in what world did we say that word? See, Tom, you were so in your feels about Clemson that you thought we were talking about Clemson.
Tom's on the stream? I don't know that I've ever
First time
seen
in a while. Yeah, Tom's been in the stream before.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a
He's been in the stream
streamer?
before.
I didn't know that. Tom's got a wait, is Paul Maneri Tom's profile pic? Is that what I'm seeing there? Is that it looks like it.
Wow.
So when did we mention the word Clemson in the first
Not once.
13?
Not
Tom, what are
once.
you smoking?
Yeah.
What are you smoking?
He
Tom?
just wakes up thinking about
does.
Clemson. How
He
about
does. He
that?
does.
You want to talk about rent free in somebody's head? Tom just shows up. You guys talking about Clemson? No, we're not, Tom. We're not at all. Not even a little bit. We were talking about Monty Python.
It's because I put it in the title.
Oh.
That's later, Tom. That's later. All caps, Tom. At 4:00, our Clemson predictions.
This is a multimedia production here, Tom.
Yeah.
This is a multimedia production. It's more than just the text. There's video, there's audio, there's memes. There's fun. There's fun on this show. So welcome into the show, Tom. Mike, this is Buckeye Mike says, tell Tom to worry about his damn kicker. That comes from Buckeye Mike.
Jeez.
My question for you, though, Cole, and we might have to tackle this a little bit later on in the show. Is Indiana at number 6 a severe disrespect to Indiana in the AP Top 25, the preseason poll? They're coming off of back-to-back playoff appearances, which in most cases buys you the level of respect that you think you should get at the beginning of the season to be highly ranked. They're coming off of an undefeated national championship season last year. They've got arguably the best head coach in the game right now, who is a quote machine, who has now turned his sights to Notre Dame and said, hey, if we're going to play Notre Dame, we're going to play them 3 times. We'll play them twice down here, once up there, because they're not in a conference, which is a great dig at Notre Dame. And Cole, they just so happen to have a quarterback coming in that on paper is better than Fernando Mendoza.
Hoover, right?
Hoover. Josh Hoover. Josh Hoover.
And now I'm looking at my magazine. I just pulled that out. Let me say this. You ask about them being 6.
Yes.
I think
preseason number 6.
When I see them preseason number 6, I go back in my head to what I asked you on the show yesterday. What criteria do the AP voters use to rank the teams? That's what I want to know.
Hell of a question.
That is, to me, that is where we should start this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you and I and any other media member out there, nobody should be allowed to react to any of this AP until we were given the criteria. Okay, here's the criteria.
Sure.
Now you react. Because I don't know what the criteria is.
I would venture to guess, Cole, that the criteria is really based on two different things. It's based on the star ratings of the players that you have on your team and immediate past success. Because that's really all you have to go on, right?
You would assume.
And that is essentially helmet scouting. It is helmet scouting. I mean, you have every reason to believe that Ohio State is a really, 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 really good team. That's why they're the number one team in the country in the AP preseason poll. We know Oregon is loaded with 5 stars. We know Georgia is loaded with 5 stars. We know Notre Dame and Texas are loaded with 5 stars. Here's the problem. Indiana, not loaded with 5 stars. But, again, they have the best coach in college football when it comes to taking lower appreciated, lesser appreciated talent, 3-star guys, turning those guys into elite football players.
Yeah, talent evaluation.
He's done it before. He's done it before. So why are we not giving Curt Cignetti in Indiana more flowers?
Well, it starts with his talent evaluation, and it goes to his and his staff's ability to develop that talent, right? That's where it starts. Why are we not giving them more flowers? Again, I asked about the criteria. If I have to give you an answer, I'm going to say they're going to base it mostly off of the guys that play on the field and the fact that there's one guy who's now in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, Diesel, who's playing quarterback, who's not playing quarterback in Indiana. You know, Indiana to Vegas, I'm sure is it Bloomington? Is that where they are?
Yes.
That's quite the, 180, a little bit different of a play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bloomington
could
to
you
Vegas.
imagine Fernando Mendoza on the Strip?
Whew.
Going to the party capital of the world, Las Vegas.
My point is, I think the AP, I imagine they would base a lot of it off of, well, they don't have Fernando Mendoza. And we remember what it was on 4th down last year in the national championship game. Was it 4th and 6?
Something like that.
Where he just made the play of the century. He spun, he broke tackles, he dove, he scored. Fernando Mendoza not being there, I think, is probably why Indiana, like if Fernando Mendoza was back, I think they'd no doubt be number 1.
Really?
Number 1 in the country.
I could, yeah, okay.
I just think you don't have the quarterback, and I think that's why they probably have them at 6. I'm assuming here, I guess.
Yeah. And that has to be. The question mark at the quarterback position has to be the big difference, right? Because all these other teams have established quarterbacks that aren't going anywhere. This is the first team on this list that has a new quarterback. Indiana has a new quarterback. Miami has a new quarterback. They're preseason 6 and 7. A&M's got Marcel Reed returning. Then you got Ole Miss with a new quarterback. You go down the list. LSU's got a new quarterback. Texas Tech, Alabama.
Don't bring that up.
A lot of these schools have new quarterbacks. But like I said, Curt Cignetti, and look, these are real human beings. Just because you were able to get everything you were able to get out of Fernando Mendoza doesn't mean you're going to get every single same drop of that out of Josh Hoover. But like I said, Josh Hoover comes in on paper 15% better than Fernando Mendoza was in his last season at Cal before coming to Indiana. He threw for 3,000 yards in his season at Cal in 2024. Josh Hoover threw for 3,472 in 2025 at TCU. He threw more touchdowns than he did. He also threw more interceptions. So if Curt Cignetti, who was also a master at getting his teams to play disciplined football and not beat themselves with the mistakes on the field, if he's able to get Josh Hoover's interception numbers down to like 10, and that's all he does, his number, other than that, the numbers across the board stay the same, I think you're looking at another potential deep playoff run, national semifinal at least kind of team.
Well, with their schedule, I think they're definitely a playoff team. No disrespect to the teams on the schedule, but I think there's 2 tough games. Ohio State and Michigan back-to-back. I think outside of that, Indiana probably wins the rest of them. To your point on Josh Hoover, can Josh Hoover be – and this is why I don't always like stats. Can Josh Hoover be statistically as good as Fernando Mendoza? Sure, I think he can. But here's what I would bring up to you, Diesel, and the Tolos out there. There were moments, and I think back last year, There was a game last year. I need to pull up their schedule from last year. There was a game they played. They almost lost early in the season. And I just remember, you remember, Diesel? I think I was at
Ohio
Clemson.
State.
No, there was a receiver that made a toe touch. You remember that toe touch play in the back of the end zone? It was against a lesser opponent.
Let's see.
I just remember so many moments.
They beat Old Dominion by 13.
Yeah, it wasn't
They
them.
beat Indiana State 73-0.
Well, definitely wasn't
Iowa. You think of the Iowa games, 2015. 20-15
That's
was
it.
the final
That's
score.
it. And there was a toe tap catch. I think I was at like Clemson covering a game that day. The reason I bring that up, there were so many moments last year during the course of the season. Think about how the season would have been different if they would have lost that game.
Minute 28 to go in the fourth quarter. Elijah Surratt caught a 49-yard touchdown pass.
So my point being, could Hoover be as good statistically? I think he could. But here's what I'm gonna emphasize. There are so many moments last year when I watched Indiana, I thought, man, that guy's ballsy, that quarterback. He's got good feel of the game. He makes the big time plays. He makes the timely plays that don't always show up on the stat sheet, right? You've got that guy that's just got it. And in the NFL, people are put in the Hall of Fame because they have it. Tom Brady had it, right? Fernando Mendoza at Indiana last year had it. So a lot of these moments, my point being, didn't show up on the stat sheet. I don't know if Josh Hoover has it. I know Josh Hoover has talent. You know that. He wouldn't be at Indiana playing for Kurt Signetti if he wasn't good, right? He wouldn't be there. When you talk about big moments against Ohio State, Diesel, on the road at the Big House, is Josh Hoover going to be able to fill the shoes that Fernando Mendoza left by making the big plays and the big moments? I think that's how Josh Hoover will be judged in 2026.
Very interesting question. And like you said before, it depends on what the criteria are in the AP preseason poll. Texter says you had people that write for the New Mexico Gazette giving New Mexico a first place vote. It's all crap. It says, have you seen who is an AP voter? It's just based on the feeling of these random people that shouldn't even have a vote.
I don't
Look up the
disagree,
voters.
No,
he's
I don't disagree
right.
with all that. I mean, that's the thing. The AP voters, to his point, the texter, his or her point, like, what qualifies and did he say New Mexico Gazette? So like what qualifies the New Mexico Gazette? No offense to the New Mexico Gazette. I think it's probably a great little outlet. But what qualifies their lead guy to have a vote in the AP poll? You know what I mean?
I mean, he just because he's in New Mexico doesn't mean that he can't see Southern Cal 2 states over is really good.
I get that.
Texas,
they have
state
TVs
over.
in New Mexico.
Yeah,
they do have TVs.
They do eventually get the news.
I think they do. And I get that they have TV, but I just don't know that, I don't know that it's my point being, I don't know that it's really a nationally unbiased perspective, just in terms of okay, if we, not the AI, this thing, Diesel, not to go full analytics, but when you talk about the AP top 25, I almost wish there were just a board of people who had no affiliation. You know what I mean? And that's not possible. Heck, that doesn't happen.
Everybody's going to have their own bias.
They are. And even the college football playoff, right?
Yeah.
There's ADs from, I think your AD's on there this year, isn't he?
He is
the
on
AD
CFP.
at App State?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like there's this test that you have to achieve multiple years in a row before they're willing to give you the flowers. And I see it with the G5 teams getting early preseason ranking or not getting early preseason rankings. I just feel like, Indiana, they made a playoff run in the 24 season. They went undefeated, won the national championship in 2025. So basing your top 5 on star reviews and helmet scouting and looking up and down the roster for big names, I'd rather go off of what a coach has already been able to achieve rather than what we think this collection of random guys could be.
Texter says if the New Mexico Gazette gets a vote, then the Fan Upstate and Greer News Sports should get a vote too. I like it, Texter. I like it a lot. We continue the conversation. NFL Fantasy Wire-to-Wire League, how to get in, and the top 3 NFL teams with the most pressure this season. That's next. Well, yesterday we elected a new commissioner. That's right. The Wire to Wire Fantasy Football League on the Fan Upstate is now being commissioned by the one, the only dump button himself, Shane Barrett.
Evening, Commissioner.
There we go. The announcement is out. I don't know why. I kind of had a brain fart, not as bad as yours, but
mine was bad.
I thought that earlier in the year Shane told us he didn't have time to be the commissioner, and I guess I'm getting Shane confused with another Tolo. So I think there was a Tolo that we asked, remember, on the phone one day, and they said, I don't have time. We have like 9 leagues. So evidently, I'm sorry, Shane, that was not you. Shane has sent me the link. So now I am going to have this link on the computer. Shane Barrett sent me the link for the first league Diesel, and I'm sure that we'll have to create many, many more because last year I think we had 3. This year, you never know. We might have to have more than that. But if you are listening to this fine radio show and want in, I have the link on the computer with me. All you have to do is text the show. You can type fantasy or I love fantasy. I love Diesel's fantasy. Whatever you want to type with the word fantasy in it, I'll send you the link back to join.
Cole is my fantasy?
Maybe. Are you going to join?
Oh, did I say that out loud?
No.
I'll join. You know what? This will be the year. This will be the year. Put me in the league if you want an easy win because
don't say that.
I'm not going to know what I'm doing.
And
I'll be brand new at this.
That's okay. You never know. Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. I don't know, Shane. Shane Barrett, let us know when the fantasy draft is set up for. Do it like on a late at night, not late at night, but like in the evening after Diesel and I get off or on the weekend, but at night. Not during the middle of the day. We can't do it in the daytime. Way too much stuff going on in the daytime.
Did you ever watch the TV show The League? About a bunch of nerds that play fantasy football?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like Taco in that show. Taco, he drafted like 6 kickers.
I never heard of
Somehow
The
he found a
League.
way to win the whole thing.
The League. Never heard of
The
it.
League.
Sounds like a great show for
It's a good show.
For Shane Barrett since he is the commissioner. So I've got the link. It's in I've copied it. All I've got to do is start sending it, and here they come. Here they come.
Send it to me. I want it.
All right, it's on the rundown. It's on the rundown, and the texts are coming in. Hey, let's be clear about something. We had a question about this yesterday. Very, very clear. Stop the press, Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, I repeat, this is not the Upset Picks Challenge.
No, it is not.
I thought that was clear, but evidently not. This is the NFL. NFL is different than college. I don't know if you knew that or not either. This is the NFL Fantasy League. NFL, college. College, NFL. They are not the same. If you want in on the Upset Picks Challenge, that begins next Wednesday at
4 o'clock.
4
right? o'clock. Yeah, right. We do it at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Yeah, you think we talked about this before.
That is literally a week from tomorrow. The Upset Pick Challenge is back. So hold that. Put that on the back burner today, and we'll continue to remind you. But text in 844-326-3663. And also another question that we have for Shane on this fantasy thing. He says, by the way, the league is an incredible show.
It is.
I knew he liked it.
It is a great show. I'm sure Tom in Somerville loves that show too.
What is Shane, let us know, what is the maximum amount of teams in each league? Because you don't want too many players because if you are too many teams, because if you have too many teams, Diesel, there aren't enough players to go around. You see what I'm saying?
True.
My camera is like in its own world right now. I'm sorry for those watching the stream, seeing the zooming in and zooming it out. But Ricky Schuler also agrees with you. He said the league is awesome. Maybe I'll have to watch the league. Shane did 12. Okay, we are just a few weeks away. The NFL preseason's rolling on. So if you want in one more time, text the show, and we will get you that link to join. Good luck to you. Hope you absolutely crush your opponent, unless it's Diesel and I. If it's Diesel and I, we don't want you to crush either one of us. But good luck to you, Tolos out there. 844-FAN-PHONE.
I'm in.
No,
I'm in already. Yeah.
Jeez.
Jump the gun.
Now he's already a pro at this thing. He's already a pro.
I want to make sure. I got to come up with a good team name, though.
That takes time.
Yeah, it does.
Think about that. All right, now.
I don't know if anybody will top what a certain Tolo made their team name, which had me rolling.
Last year?
Riley Reed Option.
That's a good one.
And it's a great one.
That's a good one.
You don't know who that is.
No, you explained it to me on the air last year. Yeah, you did on the air. You did. I trust me. I remember.
Dirty girl, but that's really funny.
I remember you telling me on the air what it was, so I cannot not remember. I cannot.
I'm laughing just thinking about it.
Yeah. Now, the NFL segment continues. I want to know from you and the Tolos out there at 844-FAN phone, continue this the interaction. In the NFL, we all love the P word. No, don't go there. Pressure.
Oh, I thought you parody?
Nope.
Why did you automatically assume that my mind was going to go to a dirty place?
No, I didn't know where I was going to go.
Is that what you think of me?
No, I didn't know. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the
place
Tolos.
kickers.
Place kickers. No. Pressure. Some people fold like a cheap tent, Diesel, under pressure. Some people eat pressure like candy, right? And no, not potential. I want to know in these next few minutes from you and the Tolos out there, because I think this is a fun conversation that's maybe you just really can't get a true answer. Top 3 teams. You have to make a list, 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Top 3 teams in the NFL this season that have the most pressure on them as a organization, as a franchise. We've talked about this a little bit already throughout the offseason. But when you talk about franchises like the Cowboys who have pressure every year that have failed for 30 straight years, right? There are certain franchises, especially dependent on what you do in the offseason, that have a certain level of pressure to get it done. I want to know from you, Diesel, and the Tolos, who would you rank? Let's start at number 1. Which team would you rank as the number 1 team in the NFL? Is it Philadelphia? Is it Dallas? Is it Buffalo? Is it the Bengals? Is it Baltimore? Who has the most pressure on them heading into the season?
My number 1 team on my list would probably be the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
Buffalo has all these seasons in a row, right, of achieving close to where they want to be. And they just can't get over the hump. They just can't get there. They got Josh Allen, who on paper, and people keep telling us, believe me, you tune into ESPN, you can't go 5 minutes without them telling you that Josh Allen is great, telling you that he is a generational quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, is he? If he's not winning anything? So I think the pressure is certainly on them. Obviously, they're playing in a brand new stadium. They've got entrenched coaching staff. They've got weapons. They've got everything they need. They just have to put it together.
I do not hate your Buffalo answer at all. I think when you fire Sean McDermott, who's a good coach, and you promote the OC and Joe Brady to your head coaching position, I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure because of that. As a franchise, you've made a big, bold move. You believed that Sean McDermott, Diesel, could not get you over the hump. So now you're promoting Joe Brady, who we all know knows offense. He knows ball. Can he get them over the hump? You mentioned Josh Allen. He is as good as there is in the NFL at quarterback. Josh Allen has not gotten over the hump, a lot in large part due to that guy in Kansas City and what he does at quarterback, right? I will say, Diesel, that I believe you are right there at the top of the list. Most pressure. I think it's a 1A, 1B type approach, but I'm going to go Baltimore, number 1. I'm going to go Baltimore. They tried to fix their defense immediately. You bring in Trey Hendrickson, right? That gives them a legitimate high-end pass rusher. You get Calais Campbell. You add Jalen Hawkins, Malachi Starks, Roquan Smith. You got Jesse Minter. You've got that guy playing quarterback named Lamar Jackson and that running back and Derrick Henry, who's one of the better backs in the NFL. I just think that when you talk about pressure, Lamar Jackson, you know how much I think of him. You know how high I think of him as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I just think that guy with this team, with that running back. Oh, by the way, another team that fired their coach because he couldn't get over the hump, right?
Yeah.
This guy, this franchise, this organization, Diesel, they have got to cash in this season. If not now, then never for Baltimore.
Yeah, there is an element of the fact, we've talked about this a couple of times, that Lamar Jackson always seems to play his best in the first year of a new offensive coordinator. Now, you can't say that that's definitely going to happen again. It's happened twice. Both times that he's changed coordinators, it's happened. You can't put the pressure on him and say, well, you have to be able to go out there and do it again under a new regime again. So I think that does take a little bit of the pressure off of the Ravens, but I like them inside the top 5 for sure. Top 3, debatable. We'll get down this list and figure out where we want to slide.
I'll go Buffalo 2. I think that's an easy answer. I said 1A, 1B. I'll go Ravens 1, Buffalo 2. Diesel, who would you go at 2?
Number 2 on the list. Gosh. Number 2 on the list, I'm probably putting your Dallas Cowboys because you're right. The pressure is there no matter what every single year. Now you're 2 years away. Well, an entire league season separated from sending your best defensive player out of market. Dak is back. They're spending some money, and it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah, and you've gotten a very much improved defense, right? A very much improved defense, and I actually have Dallas as my third. So I'm with you. I've got Baltimore, number 1, Buffalo, number 2, Dallas, number 3, and then receiving votes, I'd put Cincinnati. I just think Cincinnati always, with Joe Burrow, they've got pressure. Yeah. Who would you go as 3?
That's valid.
Like that guy's too good not to, you know what I mean? Like
I think a different kind of pressure is what they're dealing with in Cleveland. I mean, I know the expectations aren't high ever in Cleveland. But you've now got this massive story of, all right, you've invested so much money into Deshaun Watson. This is the make or break here. And they're already saying, oh, he's going to be, trading games with Shedeur Sanders in the preseason. They might have been doing that anyway because you're not supposed to start your starter in all the preseason games. You're supposed to give him a taste and then put him back on the bench. But now, the chickens are essentially coming home to roost, and you have to decide, is this guy that we have basically handcuffed ourselves to for the last 3 seasons or more, is he going to be a viable player for us or not?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Let's go to the phone line. Shane Barrett wants to weigh in, the new commissioner of the Wire to Wire Fantasy Football League. Shane, how bad, how good is our list, and what does your list look like, the teams that have the most pressure on them heading into the season?
Yeah, I have one question because when I was calling in, the stream cut off. Who was Diesel's number 2?
Number 2 on my list were the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Okay. So I agree wholeheartedly with you guys on Buffalo and Baltimore. I had Buffalo 1. I have the Rams at 2.
Well, really?
Because, I mean, they've got a ton of talent.
They have collected all this talent. They got Myles Garrett. They traded away some of their youth and Jared Verse and the picks that they sent to get Garrett. Stafford is likely retiring this year or next. They have pushed all their chips in, so I feel like they are number 2.
That's an interesting answer.
And then I had Baltimore at 3, but because you guys already talked about Buffalo and Baltimore, who I agree with, I'm going to throw you guys a curveball and give you the Los Angeles Chargers, simply for the fact that Justin Herbert, similarly to Josh Allen, but also somewhat different, has not won anything in his career, but gets talked about as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And so with a new offensive coordinator and Mike McDaniel and in year 2 of a new head coach, I think we're getting close to put up or shut up time with Justin Herbert.
Ooh, put up or shut up.
I mean,
then my honorable mention is the Cowboys.
But if the stories are to be believed, Mike McDaniel is sort of running roughshod over that offensive room.
He is,
and he's turning it into his own little plaything. And that's a chaos goblin right there. That is a weird, wild card element.
He's a Billiken.
Yeah, I like the Rams. By the way, is what's his name coming back from retirement? They say Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Is he coming back?
I haven't seen if he's officially coming back yet.
I kept hearing rumors about that. And if he comes back alongside that other guy that you mentioned, oh my gosh, that defense would be nasty. Right?
Oh my Lord,
it'd be nasty.
I appreciate that Billiken drop there, Shane Barrett.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Does Cole remember what university are the Billikens? They are in March Madness every single year.
Don't say it, Shane. St. Louis.
Hey, good job.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
Nicely done.
I'm so proud of you, Cole.
I know. Unless I got lucky.
Thanks,
lucky.
Shane. Good to hear from you.
Thanks, Shane. St. Louis Billikens.
Yeah.
I remember the mascot. The world is coming to an end. We'll see. I think the pressure conversation is fun. Pressure either makes diamonds or makes you fold, right? And we'll see, Diesel, if my Dallas Cowboys and others can live up to the pressure this year.
We'll find out. Hey, when we come back, Cole, speaking of pressure, things are getting a little tense out in L.A., especially where it comes to a lot of NBA fans' former favorite teams. Now that LeBron's not on them anymore, they don't care. But what's going on with the Lakers and the management and the ownership situation? That is next. Cole, congratulations. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to pretend for a moment that you own a Ferrari. You own a really nice, really expensive, super valuable, rare Ferrari.
Yeah.
There's not that many of them, right? Not that many people have one. That's why it's really hard to get a hold of one, and everybody covets them so much. If you sell me your Ferrari, do you think I'm going to let you come by the garage every weekend, take a look at it, sit in it, take photos with it, tell people it's still yours? Do you think I'm going to allow you to do that?
I would hope you wouldn't.
No.
I'd hope not, right?
I'm not going to do that, which is why it's so weird that Jeannie Buss, the face of the Lakers organization, even though she and her family are not the owners of the Lakers anymore, it's so weird that she keeps trying so hard to hang on to this franchise and be the face of it. Have you been following what's going on with Jeannie Buss and the Lakers?
Thought she was out of the picture, but evidently not. She's not out of the picture. I don't know. It's weird.
Up until recently, well, I guess about a year ago, when the Buss family sold, was it roughly 82.5% of the franchise to Mark Walter. She was the full owner. Now she's the governor of the team. Now her siblings, who have not been active members of the ownership, they decided, well, we're going to sell our 17.5% to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger, the two executives who just bought the league at a $12.5 billion valuation. And Jeannie Buss is now trying to do everything she can possibly do to stop that. She had the Ferrari in her hands. It was in her garage. She had the keys hanging on the hook. And then she decided to sell it. Now she's saying, well, I still want to be able to hang around it. I still want to be able to climb into it and be around the car. That's not how it works. You can't sell something and then retain that much control.
And the biggest surprise in all of it was the fact that she was willing to give up control in the first place. I think that's the biggest surprise. And, you talked about the Ferrari. Well, that's a pretty legit comparison. It's the Lakers. It's not, it's not Phoenix.
Right.
Not a small market team, not Milwaukee. It's Los Angeles. And look, I get money talks, and there's so many different reasons that somebody would be willing to part ways and sell, whatever. But
maybe
that was
they
the
didn't
biggest
have the money anymore.
I don't know.
It's
LeBron left and they were done.
As an owner, you certainly make a lot of money off of your franchise, right? You make a lot of revenue.
That's the goal, right?
But it's also incredibly expensive to run a franchise. You have to write the checks. You have to approve things. You have to be involved in the day-to-day. And maybe the Buss family decided that the overwhelming costs of running the biggest on paper franchise in the NBA was just too much. So they sold a controlling stake of it. Well, Jeannie now is trying to tap into a little caveat that was in the terms when they sold that basically said she gets to be the final deciding voice on whether or not they could sell. She is the clause said that no sale could be, quote, effectuated, which is a word I've never heard before, without consent by the co-trustees. She is one of the co-trustees. She did not give her consent. Ergo, the sale can't go through.
So she still has a stake, is what you're saying, right?
As far as we know. She feels like she's got a legal standing to block this thing. Yeah. Now, there was also a caveat when they sold to Mark Walter of what they called a what do they call this? A go behind. It was if the family could resell their portion of it without consent at the same valuation that was in the $12.5 billion valuation.
Yeah.
So both sides now feel like they have some kind of legal standing, and we're going to see this thing battle out in court.
Well, we're just little peasants down here, and we'll be watching. But man, how nice it would be to be fighting over that kind of money, right?
Isn't it fascinating though that after Mark Cuban sold off his majority stake of the Mavericks, he is now fighting to regain some kind of control. And now Jeannie Buss, after she sold her controlling stake, or the Buss family sold their controlling stake, now she's trying to retain some level of control. It's
weird.
Like, it's seller's remorse.
Yeah. Tolos, if you want to join the Wire to Wire Fantasy Football League, text the show, put the word fantasy, whatever you want to say. I'll send you the link. Diesel, prediction week, our week of prediction. We started yesterday. It rolls on. It's time. Clemson fans, if you are in the upstate listening right now, stay tuned. We make our official 2026 Clemson football predictions next. Well, the time has come. Diesel, our week of predictions started yesterday as we predicted the Carolina Panthers regular season win total, how many games they'd win, how many games they'd lose, and we also predicted the NFC South yesterday. Well, our week of predictions rolls on this Tolo Tuesday where we go to Clemson, South Carolina, and we predict the 2026-2027 Clemson football schedule. My goal is just to be better than I was last year. As we know, I picked, as well as a lot of people out there, picked Clemson to win the national championship last year in Diesel Newsflash. That did not happen.
Not even close. Not even close. A lot of people predicted them to make a deep playoff run. I predicted them to, I think, get to the national championship game, but lose to Ohio State.
Yep, and that didn't happen, as we all know.
Didn't happen either.
So our prediction for Clemson, can they be better this year? We hope so, and we still feel, Diesel, like and I say we is like the media, we still feel as if we know what this team's capable of, right? Is their ceiling on paper the same as it was a season ago? I don't think so. Now, again, they did not come close to meeting their ceiling in 2025. But what's weird is, and I think you and I both might be in the same boat here, while on paper, Clemson's not as talented this year as they were last year on paper. But I don't think the record will be as bad this year. That's what's weird, right? How does that make sense?
Their schedule is super duper soft. Super duper. Like outside of the LSU and Miami games, I think the schedule is extremely manageable. You get two teams that were really, really good in the ACC last year who have new quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State is still down. Syracuse, we just don't know what kind of quarterback Steve Angeli will be now that he's back. North Carolina sucks. Cal sucks. They're going to overpower and out-talent a Georgia Southern. Sorry, corn chip. I just think the schedule is set up for them to have a bounce-back year. Even though they may not be one of those elite football teams, I think the record will look better than the team actually was.
I think so as well, and that is the strange part, the strange aspect of this. If you are a Clemson fan listening on 97.1 Spartanburg, 97.7 Greenville, 101.5 Anderson, or on the Odyssey or iHeartRadio apps where you can listen to the show, or you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as 110 of you are doing. Want to hear from you specifically at 844-326-3663 what your prediction is for the Clemson Tigers in 2026. Reminder, Gamecock fans, we're getting to you in the next segment as we'll be joined by Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central today and every Tuesday at 4:22. So here we go. We get our pens, our pencils. We sharpen our pencils.
Oh, I'm writing in pen. There's no going back. Once I write it down, it's
No,
over.
I'm with you as well. We also, right, we break out the feather and the ink, right? We are putting this down as our official predictions for the 2026 football season, and we are off. On September 5th, Diesel, Clemson travels to LSU here in just a few short weeks in Baton Rouge, a meeting that will feature two teams that were both 7-6 a season ago. However, one has a new coach and one does not. Clemson at LSU in just a couple of weeks from right now on September 5th. This is their first Baton Rouge trip, by the way. Who wins the game between Clemson and LSU?
I don't think anybody has a question. It's going to be LSU.
What? Nobody has a question?
Nobody that's called into our show or texted into our show or spoken on these airways. Pretty much everyone is going with the Bengal Tigers, the Bayou Bengals. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Is anybody picking Clemson?
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think LSU probably scores a touchdown late to make it look a little farther, a little wider of a margin than it was. I could see them winning. I could see them being up 10 points and then scoring a garbage time touchdown to make it a 17-point game. And then it looks like it was a butt whooping.
The spread currently, as of right now, is 9.5 in favor of LSU. It has moved a little bit. The total set at 51.5. Tolo's out there. If you're a Clemson fan, or are you picking, and be honest about it, don't be biased. is there anybody out there seriously taking Clemson in this one? I'm sure there are a few. I'm sure there are some diehard Clemson fans out there, Diesel, that are taking the Tigers of Clemson. I am with you. I think LSU wins the game. I do think Clemson is able to go punch for a little while. I do think LSU at some point here in just a couple of weeks hits a big play that Clemson maybe isn't able to hit. I think my key to this one, Diesel, we'll talk about this a lot. How involved does Clemson and Chad Morris get Chris Johnson out of SMU? We've heard that this guy has had a good spring and summer. We know that Gideon Davidson, sophomore, may get to start at running back for the Tigers in Baton Rouge, but I just look at last year's matchup. Clemson couldn't run the ball, right? And when they tried to, they did not. So here's the deal. I think if Chris Johnson Jr. has a breakout game and has a big game, Clemson might win this game. I think you've got to have somebody special like that. I don't think Clemson has enough offensively to get it done. Their defense worries me a little bit as well. They have the guys on the outside. They do. But I have LSU right now winning a very close game, hosting the Clemson Tigers. Dabo just can't pull it out against Lane Kiffin.
So you would say LSU by – we're not – and this is not part of our prediction. We're just –
no, I'd say right now, I'd say probably 6-8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Touchdown game. Okay.
6-8. I do. Mark Yellow Ducks on YouTube says, I'm going 7-5 for Clemson this season.
Whoa.
So there's one prediction on the YouTube stream. Again, 844-326-3663. John Dog goes Clemson 11-1 in the regular season, wins the ACC and gets dumped in the first round of the CFP. They ain't beating LSU, says John Dog on the Ingalls Market text line. Coopin Greer says, I'll take Clemson by 3. Oh, over LSU by 3.
Not
3
tree
points.
fitty?
3 points. So there you have it. There's their first game prediction. You and I both have them losing. LSU starting the season 0-1.
Yep, I do. I think the home field advantage is good. And Sam Levitt, healthy-ish, as far as we know, unless he gets stepped on. You know, Christian Wilkins isn't out there grabbing butts. There's nobody going to be out there stomping on his foot. So as long as he stays healthy, I think they roll.
I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on Georgia Southern.
No.
We can skip right past that one. And as I'm writing in my Phil Steele magazine, there's Clemson's first win of the season at home
on the board
against Georgia Southern. At that point, they are obviously 1-1. They stay at home the next week, Diesel, September 19th. Clemson has won 7 straight against North Carolina. The Tigers have won 5 straight at home, 4-1 against the spread in those 5. Last year's 38-10 win was the first game Clemson really got rolling. And I don't really think this one's up for debate. I don't know if there's anybody in the country that believes North Carolina beats Clemson, right?
No, not a chance. I think this is a comfortable win. I'd call it a 21.
I think it's a big win.
21-point win.
Yeah, 21 plus for me. I do think that. I think that it's at home. You've got a little momentum after wearing Georgia Southern out just over your lap, just spanking them, right? I think the same could happen to North Carolina. I really do. I think you'll see the run game on display. Clemson's 2-1 as they get on a plane and they have a Friday night football game at Cal.
Short week.
First trip to Berkeley, longest trip of the 2026 season, 2,595 miles from Clemson to Berkeley, Diesel. So we know that it is a short week, to your point. And yes, it's tough to play across the country. But we talked about this a lot during basketball season with Clemson.
Yeah.
I just don't know that it matters a whole lot.
It's not going to matter. I think it'll make it a closer game.
They might start out slow.
It's going to be a little sluggish to start things out.
But no, I could see another 21-pointer.
I think a lot of it depends on how the North Carolina game goes. Do they get to rest a lot of guys early? And how does the week go for them? How early do they fly out there to get used to the time difference? Because it is real.
I could see them beating them 21 points again. 2 back-to-back performances in the ACC, 21 or so points. I think Clemson at that point, Diesel, after that Friday night game, Tigers are 3-1. They've won 3 straight after the loss to LSU, feeling a little bit better, just getting some wins, right? Halfway to bowl eligibility, a better start than last year. And then October 3rd, you come back home on a, I'm going to say in air quotes, long week because you play Friday, you'll fly, you'll kind of have Saturday off-ish, right? It'll feel like a normal week by the time you get back home and in the groove of things. But Clemson, a series tied at 7. They lost the last meeting on the road, 28-20 in double overtime. Diesel, this one's going to be a big one. And this is probably the biggest home game outside of South Carolina this season for Clemson. Miami and South Carolina, I think, will be both tough home games for the Tigers. Is Miami, here's my question to you. You said a minute ago, it's a no-doubter. Everybody's picking LSU over Clemson. Is this also a no-doubter? Is everybody picking Miami in your mind over Clemson?
It is at this point in my mind.
Right now, right now.
Right now it is. And it's because there's still so many questions around Clemson's quarterback situation. I think no matter who's playing, they're losing to LSU. And no matter who's playing, they beat Georgia Southern, North Carolina, Cal. So has Christopher Vezina taken over this team and taking control of it? And is he looking good? Is Tate Reynolds? Yeah. Is he coming into games?
Well, here's the thing,
what if Vezina looks okay in the first half or first 3 quarters against North Carolina? They pull him, and Tate Reynolds goes out there and lights it up in the fourth quarter at North Carolina or Cal.
Right, and that's what I was going to say. You've got Georgia Southern. You'll see Tate Reynolds, I'm sure, against Georgia Southern. You might see him at home against North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'll see him on the road at Cal. You maybe not. But at this point, you will have seen Tate Reynolds in the season, I believe. So you've seen both quarterbacks. You know what their strengths and weaknesses are when the lights come on. I am going to throw a curveball out there. I think Clemson beats Miami at home in 2026.
Whoa.
I do.
So then you'd have them at 4-1.
4-1. I think
with a home
Clemson
win over a top
finds
10
a way. And you talk about that win that gets the pressure off of Dabo once again. I know they lost to LSU, but I think they come back and bounce back. Miami's ranked at that point. Clemson, for the first time, would be ranked that season. This season, I think they pull off a massive upset at home against Mario Cristobal, and I think Clemson beats Miami on October 3rd.
So you're thinking scenario-wise, almost like Clemson hosting Louisville with Lamar Jackson, the night game.
Ooh, that was a big one. I was there for that one.
Do you know what time of day this? I assume this is going to be a night game.
It better be. Let's see. Miami is TBA.
Okay.
It's got to be a night game.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be.
It's got to be.
Now, here's flip side of that conversation. Not to take us down a rabbit hole, but if they lose to LSU, lose to Miami at home, then there's a bye week for us to just be talking and ragging on Dabo.
Oh, sure.
For 2 straight weeks after not winning against LSU or Miami, going 0-2, if that's the scenario. How loud is that conversation about Dabo and his future?
If they've lost those 2 games,
they've lost those 2.
I think it's kind of the same as it is right now. Just like,
I mean, your job is to win the big games.
And he's not winning the big games. He's not.
Now we're having the James Franklin conversation about it.
But he hadn't won the big games in the past few years.
Right.
So I think if Dabo goes 0-2 in those 2 games, I think the conversation, the feeling's the same as it is right now, in the sense of, hey, he's not the same coach. Now, let me ask you this question: if they were to beat LSU, well, let me hold that. Who do you have winning this game? Clemson, Miami.
I got Miami winning this game.
Okay, now I'll ask you, if they were to beat LSU, would that change your thoughts on the Miami game?
I think it'd have to. I mean, you got to give them credit for taking a unseasoned quarterback on the road in Death Valley, Baton Rouge at night. I assume it's a night game.
Yeah.
And winning that game, I mean, that's a huge feather in the cap. It's a huge feather in the cap.
Clemson fans, Ortolo's out there, am I absolutely crazy for picking Clemson over Miami on October 3rd? Let me know, 844-326-3663. Bye week, you mentioned there, Diesel, on October 10th, right? Mm-hmm. The next week, you and I don't need to spend a lot of time on this one. Charleston Southern, a weird cupcake in the middle of the season, right? Where you are going to walk the dog on Charleston Southern at home.
I'd really rather have Charleston Southern before Miami than after the bye.
And Diesel, the next week, you get the brand new look, Virginia Tech, with James Franklin and their old coach who got fired, but also got hired back, even though he's fired on the what? He's back coaching defense, right? And this game's at home. This closes out a 3-game home stretch for the Tigers where they do not play a road game in the month of October. They are at home against Virginia Tech. Does James Franklin come in the Valley and surprise the Tigers, Diesel?
No, he does not. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's a 10-point game, 14-point game. But I think James Franklin comes in and probably acquits himself pretty well with the talent that he has. I mean, it's still an incomplete roster.
I think it's a close game. I think it could be close for a little while. But I like Clemson there as well. Clemson goes on the road the next week. Florida State coming off of a bye on the road in Tallahassee. Is this a trap game?
No, because my opinion of Florida State is so low right now.
Wow.
And so I'm going to reverso you and say this is the game that gets Mike Norvell fired.
Ooh.
I say Mike Norvell is fired at Florida State on Halloween, and they start
what a day to fire
their
somebody.
Head coaching search 4 weeks before the season ends.
What a day to fire somebody. On Halloween, you say? Okay.
Spooky season.
Okay. All right. So you have them beating Florida State. I do as well, but I think it's close. And I also think the quarterback situation then will be interesting as well. The next week, they go on the road at Syracuse. We'll see if Steve Angeli's healthy. Do you have them beating Syracuse?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. As good as Steve Angeli is, I don't think they're going to let him sneak up on him a second time.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think they beat them. I think Clemson, it might be close. The next week, Clemson back at home hosting Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck. Not the same Georgia Tech as last year.
Nope.
Who wins on November 14th, Diesel?
The Tigers win another one at home, which means I would have them at that point winning 5 straight games.
Okay, after the Miami game, right?
Yeah.
At Duke the next week, they've lost 2 straight to Duke. They've lost 2 straight for the first time since 1969 and 1970. Do they lose 3 straight?
No, they do not. No Darian Mensah. Manny Diaz, I think, keeps it interesting. But I mean, there's going to be no real environment at Duke. Clemson's going to overcome that.
And then they close out the season on November 28th, where they host the South Carolina Gamecocks to end the regular season. Diesel, this is obviously a big one for so many different reasons. The road team has been the better team as of late, right, in that rivalry series. Who wins? Tigers of the Gamecocks in 2026.
By virtue of the results of this game, Cole, I have the Clemson Tigers getting back to double-digit wins. A victory at home against South Carolina, closing the season out with 7 straight wins. I don't feel great about their chances to beat South Carolina. I don't feel great about their chances to handle Virginia Tech. I don't feel great about their chances to beat Duke on the road. But if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say I'm 51%. So that's all that matters.
Okay.
I think Clemson wins a lot of games close this year.
I think Clemson loses the first game at LSU, and they don't lose again until the last game at Clemson. They lose to South Carolina. They start the season on a bad note. They end the season on a bad note. They lose to 2 SEC teams on the schedule. And Clemson, this is a big improvement from last year, goes 10-2 in 2026, a lot in part due to the fact that their schedule is so soft. I think that is my optimistic prediction. Reality-wise, they might not beat Miami. They might be more like 9-3. They might be more close to 9-3. I don't think 8-4 is a good season. I don't. I think if you're 8-4 with this schedule, I think it's a disappointing season if you're 8-4 with this schedule.
I like this defense. Year 2 under Tom Allen. It's now Sammy Brown's defense to run things. You get the prima donnas out the door. The draft picks are gone. You buckle down. You tighten up the chin strap, and I think their defense is going to be pretty decent this year. I don't have much faith right now in their offense to be prolific.
10-2. Wow, what a big jump from a 7-6 season a year ago. I think 10-2 again is very, very optimistic. I think 9-3 is a little more realistic, but I'm going to lean on the side of optimism today on this Tolo Tuesday, our week of predictions. 2 down, 3 more, 4 more to go. You have them at
10-2.
I have them at 10-2 as well.
We don't have them winning the same 10 games.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
10-2. What a big jump that would be from 7 and 6 Diesel. Those are our official predictions, and immediately I'm regretting it. I think now that I think about it, 9-3 is probably more realistic, but we'll see. Yeah. Optimism wins, right?
Well, there you go. We'll go from talking about the Tigers to down I-85. We'll talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks because in the next segment, we have Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central who's going to join us every single Tuesday at this time. Gamecock Talk next. Well, our next guest is a South Carolina reporter, covers them on a daily basis for Gamecock Central. He's also a golfer and a movie buff who is trying to catch up on those last-minute summer movies before it's time to lock in for football season. Jack, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. And by the way, I still have plenty of time for movies, even during the season. Not as much time, but yeah. I'll still be there for all the big releases between now and the end of football season.
Jack, I want to know from you before we get into the nitty gritty. When's the last time you just had a massive, massive brain fart? Yesterday, yesterday on the
tell everyone about.
Well,
this.
it's too good not to tell. It's too good not to. Yesterday on the show, Jack Diesel, we were talking about our upset picks challenge that we do, and Diesel said the words, "Well, last year I lost to a dead guy," and I asked, "Well, who's dead?" I didn't know where this was going, and he said Lee Corso. For about 60 seconds on the show yesterday, the best radio you've ever heard, Diesel genuinely thought Lee Corso was dead.
I did.
Your reaction to that, and also, what's the biggest brain fart? Like, has it ever happened in a media setting where you know or knew that you knew something and you just couldn't think of it?
Boys, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. I always have brain farts, but like a really big one, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
No, like Shane Beamer presser, no Shane Beamer presser brain fart or anything like that?
There's probably been a time or two. I think there probably has been. I can't remember the instance, but there's probably been a time where I've had a question that I've wanted to ask or something. It's happened before, not just Beamer, but I'll like forget what my question was and then I'll come back to it later. But
you're just too good of a reporter. That's what it is.
Yeah, just too many questions to ask.
Jack, the big story yesterday and over the weekend were the season-ending injuries to the two wide receivers, Jaden Gibson and Jaden Sellers. I hate that for Jaden and for Lenoris because Jaden was one of the big reasons why Lenoris wanted to come back and play another year at South Carolina and play a full season with his brother. Have you gotten any more specifics about those two injuries? Any updates about actual doctor visits?
Yeah, so with Gibson, the injury happened in practice last week, and then with Jaden Sellers, the injury happened during South Carolina's first preseason scrimmage back on Saturday at Williams-Brice Stadium. And Beamer did mention that both the injuries were like non-contact injuries, so he didn't really dive into like much more specifics than that, but it wasn't like, it's just unfortunate, I think, is the main thing that these injuries happened. But I think if there's any silver lining, guys, and you hate to look at it like this, but I think it's true, is that you're pretty deep at the wide receiver position, right? So you have a lot of guys in there that can step up and fill those roles, right? So at the slot position where Jaden Sellers was presumably going to be, well, you could definitely fill that spot with Mazio Bennett potentially, who was competing to be in the slot or a starting wide receiver anyway this season. So that gives him an opportunity to step up. And, with Gibson, look, he's a big, tall guy. I believe he's like 6'5". I mean, a big guy that you could have out there, out wide, kind of like a Nick Harbor. And I don't know how much we could have seriously projected Gibson to do this year and make an impact, just because he hasn't really played at all since 2023 due to injuries and other things that have been going on in his career. So I don't know what his impact would have been, but there's a lot of guys in this receiver room, and it'll be next man up from here.
You brought up Mazio Bennett there, Jack, and this was something I said on the show yesterday. I want to get your thoughts as well, as we're joined by Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central right here on the Fan Upstate. I said that we know what Nick Harbor can do, right? We know what kind of potential, what kind of top end damage he can do for this South Carolina offense. But I said that I think Mazio Bennett's the wide receiver that really dictates how successful this offense is in 2026. And I think that based off of last year's production, not great, as we know, though, limited snaps. I think he appeared in not every game. But I feel as if South Carolina's success is going to be measured in large part in how big of a season Mazio Bennett has. Where do you stand when it comes to what I said about Mazio? How big of a role he could take on in this South Carolina offense, and if he could be that guy that really does make this offense go from good to great?
Yeah, no, great points all around right there, Cole. I think with Mazio, time will tell how the roles shake out, but I envision him as a potential starter in this offense this year. That's just my thoughts on it, especially now with Sellers going down. Like, I just think it makes almost too much sense to have Mazio out there in the slot at the start of the year. And I think the thing is that he's a guy that you can argue has the most to prove on this team.
Yeah.
Look at the year he had 2 years ago. He was great as a freshman. And then last year really did not get to do much in this offense. And I think a lot of that was because he got passed up by other guys in the depth chart. And that goes back to the point about how much depth this receiver room has. There's only one ball, only one quarterback, and there's like 5 to 6 receivers per game that you're trying to throw to. And unfortunately, Bennett was just not really one of them last year. So he'll have a chance this year, I think, to make an impact and get back to being the player he was 2 years ago. And I think he's determined to do that. Like, when you have Mazio out there with something to prove, I think that could be dangerous, but in a really good way for South Carolina. So I anticipate him having a nice bounce back season, and that'll greatly help South Carolina this year.
Jack, you said potential starter, like, and maybe I just don't know who else. I mean, at this point, he's not locked in as a starter already?
Well, again, we don't know Shane Beamer's talked about it a little bit. Like, he really couldn't tell you what the starting group is going to look like right now, because there's a lot of different guys in that room that could potentially be starters. I'm just saying, I view Mazio as, he just seems to make a lot of sense to be the guy at the slot, given he's played there before. And look, Jaden Sellers he probably would be the starter at the slot if he weren't hurt. Well, now he is hurt, so who takes over that role? I feel like Mazio makes a lot of sense. It depends on how many receivers they run out there. If they're running a 3-receiver set, maybe it's Nick Harbor. I mean, Nick Harbor is going to be a given starter, but then is it Nicer Tuggle? And then is it Mazio Bennett? Like, there's a few things to work out. You got DJ Black, who continues to get raved about here in preseason camp. So, and not to mention all the returning sophomores that were freshmen last year, a part of that loaded 2025 recruiting class, are back for another season. So there's a lot to like about this room. And yeah, they've taken a few hits with big injuries, but I don't think it's anything that South Carolina can't overcome.
Talking to Jack Veltri of Gamecock Central, Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson. Shane Beamer said, I think it was earlier today, talking about the scrimmage from last Saturday, about how penalties have come down, both pre-snap penalties and during the play penalties. How are they simulating as close to game pressure as they can inside of those practices? Because, I mean, if it's just a quiet stadium and you got guys still committing a ton of penalties, well, that's a big old problem. But how are they trying to make these scrimmages feel as game similar as possible? And essentially, what have they been doing to try to put these guys into situations to force them into mistakes?
Yeah, no, you're totally right on that. And Beamer was talking about today, they managed to cut down the penalties, but he did say that they had, I think, 7 pre-snap penalties still over on Saturday. So that's a big improvement from the amount of penalties they had in the first scrimmage last year, which I think Beamer was saying was like 21 penalties, which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, that's a good sign right there. As far as like, cause it's tough to simulate it, obviously, in a stadium that, sure, it's team and, coaches and players and personnel in that building. You maybe have a small contingent of like family and like donors and Gamecock Club members that might be at these scrimmages and whatnot, but it's obviously not going to be 80,000+ people in the building. So it's tough to simulate the game atmosphere. Obviously, they're going to have music blasting and whatnot, and that was definitely the case on Saturday. The other thing is, look, the way you simulate it is you do everything possible to make it feel like a game in all the other aspects. You can't really do much about the crowd noise. What you can do is you got the 11 guys in the field on both sides of the ball, and they go out there and play. Coaches are on the sideline calling plays just like a normal game, and then it's up to the players from there to go out there and do their thing. So I think there's a lot of pressure in that very way. But we've heard Shane Beamer talk about it all the time, is they want to put these guys in as much pressure situations as possible. And I think that's especially true at a spot like the kicker situation that they have going on, where they're still trying to figure out their starting kicker. So, yeah, I mean, look, they try to do everything they can to make them ready to go for the season. And I think these are ways that they definitely do it.
You brought it up. That was my next question. I saw your piece earlier on Gamecock Central about the kicker, the most important position on the field, kicker. Hopefully Gamecock's not in a position too many times this year where they have to rely on a game-winning field goal or anything like that. But obviously in this league, every position's important. Who do you expect to win that battle? Beamer said that somebody's got to step up. I think, was that his quote?
Yeah, that was his quote. I asked him about it today, and yeah, you're right. I do have my piece up on Gamecock Central about it. Yeah, it's tough. This is just my thoughts on it, kind of speculation. I kind of, because of how close it just seems that nobody's really stepping up yet, I feel like you could really go with any of these guys. You got Upton Bellefonte, who has the most experience of the group. You got Malik Orson, who we don't really know a ton about because he transferred in here late, and he redshirted last year in his first year of college. And then you have Max Kelly, who was here last year. He handled kickoff duties, and he's a returner competing for the starting job. I think right now I would probably lean Max Kelly if I had to guess. But, these things can always change. They're going to have another scrimmage coming up on Saturday. And, I know Shane has talked about it today. Like, it's time for somebody to step up in that room and take control of this thing. So we'll see next time we talk with Beamer next Tuesday after the second scrimmage, if that's the case.
Jack, would you say that Shane Beamer is more frustrated with us asking questions about Dylan Stewart's health, or with essentially not knowing where Dylan Stewart's health really is? I mean, he keeps saying things like he's on track, he's getting better, he's moving in the right direction, but what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, and I see people today commenting, "Oh, why isn't there a follow-up question about what does on track mean? Does that mean on track for week 1, week 4, whatever?" Even if we ask that question, the media I'm talking about, it's not going to change the narrative of what they want it to be, of keeping this thing under wraps and whatnot. Like, it may truly just be a case of like, they don't know when they're going to be back yet, but they're on track. So look, they still have over a month until SEC play gets going. And I think that's really when you want to have them back by, because you don't need them for Kent State. You don't need them for Towson. Mississippi State, September 19th at Williams-Brice Stadium, you would like to have them back in the lineup ready to go for that game. So we'll see. We continue to hear it every time. I know it gets old for everyone hearing that they're on track and whatnot. We saw them at practice on Sunday. But granted, they weren't really doing anything. They weren't participating in practice in pads or anything, but they're continuing to work, trying to get back. And so we'll see. It's tough to forecast these things, especially with Dylan with a back injury. I mean, guys, we all know this. Like, the back can be one of the trickier injuries to work your way back from, just because it could be spinal stuff. It could be all sorts of things. So we'll see, but you got about a month from now until the SEC opener. And I think if they're not back by then, I think I'd be a little bit concerned.
Jack Veltri, my last question for you here. The September 5th date marks the season opener for the Gamecocks at home against Kent State. When does the season start for the Gamecocks? Is it September 19th? You mentioned Mississippi State. I know it's an SEC game, important. Is it September 26th when they go on the road and play Alabama, a really good team? I don't know how good Mississippi State's going to be this year. The Gamecocks have had pretty good recent success, 5 straight at home against the Bulldogs. When does the South Carolina season start in your mind?
Don't overlook that Mississippi State game, Cole. Don't be like everyone else. That game is when the season starts, in my opinion.
Okay.
First 2 games, whatever. South Carolina's going to go 2-0. They're going to win those games. If they lose any of those games, we got bigger problems to talk about when I come on here. But look, they should be 2-0 heading to that Mississippi State game. Don't sleep on the Bulldogs, man. I know they went 5-8 last year, but you look at some of the games they lost. Probably shouldn't have lost to Texas. Probably shouldn't have lost that game on the road at Florida. Like, there are games on that schedule that Mississippi State definitely could have won if they were able to finish down the stretch in the fourth quarter of those games. So that's going to be tricky. And then from there, you got 8 more SEC games and Clemson on the road at the end of the year. Yeah, the season starts, for me, in my opinion, week 3 September 19th against Mississippi State. That's when it really kicks into another gear.
Jack, one of our listeners asked, can you ask Jack where he would rank the wide receiver room for South Carolina in the SEC? And I want to take that one step farther. With Nick Harbor being the undisputed head of this wide receiver room, where would you rank Nick Harbor individually when it comes to wide receivers in the SEC?
That's a good question. I'll answer the second part of that question first. I think Nick's a very good receiver. He had a great year last year. 30 catches, over 600 yards, a couple touchdowns. Like, he showed some flashes. And the thing about him is that he continues to get better every single year. His production nearly doubles every season. So hypothetically, if it doubles again this year, we're talking about a 1,000-yard receiver with double-digit touchdowns. If he does that, I think he ends up being a top 10 receiver in probably not even just the SEC, but just the country in general. Right now, I think the question was in terms of the SEC. I would say he's a top – tough question because I don't have it in front of me, but I would have to say probably a top 20 receiver in this conference. He's definitely good enough, obviously, as a player, and I think he's only going to continue to get better. Now, as far as where the receiver room stacks up in the SEC, I would say I'm not going to put it towards the top of the pack because I think while they are deep, there's a lot of unproven there. And, Nick is good. Nitro Tuggle is good, but he was doing it in the Big Ten at Purdue with his production. And then, Jaden Sellers is out for the year. And then you have a lot of unknown in that room. So I think for me, I'd probably, just a random number, I'd probably say middle of the pack, maybe no worse than 10th or 11th in the SEC. I think there's a lot of good rooms in this conference, and a lot of them have proven guys. South Carolina, while they're deep, they have a lot of, lots to prove this season, I would say.
No, I think you're right, Jack. You're the best. We look forward to talking to you every single Tuesday at this very time. As always, we appreciate the heck out of you. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks,
Jack Veltri. You heard him right here on the Fan Upstate. And as I said, mark it down, Gamecock fans, every single Tuesday at 422 Diesel. He's right. The first two will be doozies. Mississippi State is when he says that season officially starts. We've got to get to the top headlines, our Daily Wires. That is next. On the Ingles Markets text line, JT and Greer says, I think Clemson will be 9-3. LSU, Miami, and South Carolina be in the games they drop. We'll see if that prediction holds true there, JT and Greer. I don't hate it one bit. It's time to crunch down the top headlines in a segment we call our Daily Wires. It's the buzz happening. High school football back this Friday. Burns at home hosting Independence out of Charlotte. You can hear the game right here on the Fan Upstate. Speaking of Burns, tonight debuts the Rebel Yell, the brand new coaches show for the first time in 14 years. That's a long time. The coaches show is back 7 p.m. tonight. I'll be joined by players, assistant coaches, and head coach Reggie Shaw. That is at 7 p.m. following Wire to Wire right here on the Fan Upstate.
Nice.
Diesel, the Braves were not nice the past few days or week. The Atlanta Braves were defeated again, this time by the Twins on Monday, 4-2. NL East lead back down to 6.5 games for Atlanta over Philly. They are in a little bit of a slump right now.
Yeah, the scoring is just not there. It's so wildly inconsistent. Some games, they'll score 5, 6, 7 runs. Other games, 2.
Los Angeles Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss is contesting her siblings' vote to sell the family's remaining 17.8% share of the Lakers. We talked about this earlier in the show. According to a letter obtained by the lawyer from ESPN, ESPN Shams Charania reported earlier Monday that the Buss family voted to sell the remaining shares to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger at the same $12.5 billion valuation. They believe they have the right to sell based on a tag-along provision that had been included in the previous sale to Walter in June of 2025. A weird situation here. I don't know who, Diesel, I don't know who comes out on top here. It's just a weird situation over a lot of money.
Yeah, it just seems like she wants the cash from the sale and wants to still be a face of the team.
Right.
But if you want to be the face of the team, don't sell the team.
Don't sell the team. In Indianapolis, the Colts have been eyeing veteran wide receiver Keenan Allen for the past several months, and now the sides have officially made things official in an effort to bolster a thin receiving corps. Indianapolis on Monday agreed to terms with the 34-year-old player, a team source told ESPN. Allen returns to the NFL after reuniting with the LA Chargers last season, notched 30 or 81 catches in his 13th season, and the deal is worth up to $8.32 million.
Yeah, but is it Facebook official? There's officially official,
Facebook.
And then there's Facebook official.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't seen it on Facebook.
If you hadn't changed that status yet, it's not official.
It's true. The Dallas Cowboys defense is getting another veteran boost. The Cowboys reached a deal to sign linebacker Von Miller, the team announced on Sunday night. Miller reportedly signed a 1-year, $5.5 million deal per NFL Network. He can reportedly make up to 7.5. Diesel Von Miller had a good season last year in Washington, 9.5 sacks, but he is 37 years old. So we'll see what he can do at that age.
Hey, he's the Tom Brady of getting to the quarterback.
Well, maybe so. And if Dallas made this signing 10 years ago, I think Dallas burns down with excitement. However, we'll see what Von can be at 37. Hopefully he can be something.
Did I see that Dallas also picked up Jadeveon Clowney not long ago? Or was he back in Houston?
He's in Houston, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
He did play in Dallas. He did play in Dallas last year.
That'd be a nice little rotational, two rotational pieces.
Two old guys that equal 80, right?
Yes.
New Orleans Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson. Not good news if you're a Saints fan. Could miss the next 2 months with a right hamstring injury. Sources told Ian Rappaport and Mike Garofalo of the NFL Network. Tyson, 22, was hurt Thursday during the Saints joint practice with the Jaguars. Not good for second-year head coach and offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Tough news, but not if you're a Panthers fan.
Right.
Shouldn't say that.
It's great. It's great when the division gets weaker around you.
Tennessee landed another quarterback for the future Monday with a commitment from 4-star prospect Caden Kraft. ESPN's number 3 dual threat passer in the 2028 cycle, the 6'4", 205-pound quarterback from Mooresville, North Carolina, just up the road, right?
Yeah.
Not far from where you are from, I don't think,
That's right.
Diesel. Number 103 overall recruit. He gave his pledge to the Volunteers over Florida, LSU, Michigan, Ole Miss, and Oregon.
Hey,
how about that?
A lot of teams were on him.
A big get for Josh Heupel. And last Daily Wire, Michigan State finalizing a deal to hire Western Michigan AD Dan Bartholomew. Is that how you pronounce that? I would imagine.
Guess is as good as mine. Bartholomew,
maybe, as the school's next AD. Sources told ESPN. Barth comes to Michigan State after a strong run at Western Michigan, where he won a national title in men's hockey during his tenure. And the school is also coming off of a MAC title in football.
Western Michigan.
So horse, stallion, something like that, right?
Close.
It's a meh.
Broncos.
Bronco.
Yeah.
A gallop Bronco.
Yeah.
I knew it was something like. I'm getting better. Your mascot stuff's rubbing off on me.
An unreliable vehicle, but they're not bad in hockey.
Not bad.
Not bad in hockey.
Not bad.
Cole, when we come back on the other side of the break and start off hour number 3 here on Wire to Wire with this, the NFL's most passionate cities. The cities that are most passionate about their teams. This was a ranking, of course. It's ranking season. It's the tail end of the ranking season. Thank God. But the Carolina Panthers and their fans, not particularly highly viewed when it comes to the folks over at foxnews.com who put this thing together. We'll see if we agree with their list next. Think about I just did it. Dang it.
You're next.
Dang
You're
it.
next.
Now I'm bitten by the bug of forgetting to turn my microphone on.
It's a weird feeling when you do that because you can kind of hear yourself, but you can't really hear yourself.
You just do it like every, 10 minutes, all day, every day, that you forget whether you did it or not.
I am going back and I am clipping that audio right now.
There's like a jinx. Yeah, there's like a jinx.
Did you hear what that's a promo. If I can find that. Hold on. I'm sorry, but that's a promo there. Let's see if we can find it.
It's all day, every day.
Here you go, right here.
But you can't really hear yourself.
You just do it.
Really hear yourself.
Right here.
You just do it like every, 10 minutes, all day, every day.
All right, from there to there.
Oh, God.
That is now a promo. Copy to new. We're going to go 1, 2, and now we have a better audio clip here.
You just do it like every, 10 minutes, all day, every day. God almighty. I'm glad I can provide promo material on our show.
2 days in a row. Jeez. I love that.
You just back to back, foot in mouth moments.
What are you doing? 10 times?
You just do it like every. You just do 10 minutes, all day, every day.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Thank you for starting the 5 o'clock hour with
no context. Material. Just put it in the promo just like that, without any context.
Just do it. You're going to get calls from Nike now.
Hey, I don't have any money. Don't try to sue me. I don't have any cash. Sorry, Nike.
That's good. Good stuff there. I love it. I just derailed. I just pulled a Rick and Greer and derailed the whole segment. I'm sorry.
Let's try to get this thing back on track before it goes so far off the rails. We can't even find them. How dare Cole, FoxNews.com, and Outkick Sports say that Carolina Panthers fans are not among the most passionate fans in professional football? How dare they? I see tens of car flags every season that proves otherwise. They're everywhere, man. The car flags are all over the place. The stickers on the windows, the magnetic Panther heads that kind of, if you squint your eyes and turn your head to the side like a dog, kind of look like the states of North and South Carolina.
The tens of car flags.
We are legion, us Carolina Panthers fans, but we are not listed on this definitive list. Of course, it is definitive because it's the latest of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL.
Wow. Okay.
Initial reaction.
Not totally surprised. I've been to a lot of Panthers games in my life, especially recently. Panther fans that I know, like the ones that I do know, are passionate fans. I just don't feel like there are as many passionate fans out there, if that makes sense. The ones I know, like my friends that are Panther fans, they're passionate about it, but I just don't see, like, even in the upstate, when I walk around downtown or wherever, I don't see a lot of Panthers gear. Like,
you can walk around downtown Charlotte, you don't see it. You don't see it. I think, well, first of all, Carolina Panthers, as great of a slogan as Keep Pounding is,
sure,
they also need to have a forever to the type of slogan to remind fans that, like, even when things are not going well, you need to support the Carolina Panthers. Because, I mean, yeah, you can just easily close the book, wipe your hands of it. The team hasn't been very good for the last decade, and say, okay, well, it totally makes sense that the Carolina Panthers fans are not the most passionate fans in football. But I think, Cole, and we're going to get into this list here in just a second, and we actually do have the methodology as to how this list was put together, which is a step up on the preseason AP poll.
Okay.
I think part of it is because southern cities, and you're going to notice a pattern of the NFC South cities not performing well on this list, because southern cities are being invaded. We're being carpetbagged by northerners who come here, and now these cities are all kind of a hodgepodge, a melting pot of all different kinds of fan bases. So you don't have a galvanized, united fan base. That is my overarching, deep-seated opinion of why Carolina is not considered to be an elite, passionate city for NFL.
No, I think there's validity to that. I spend a lot of time in Charlotte. I have family there, and it is like Ohio Junior in Charlotte.
A lot of Buckeyes gear.
There's a lot of people just that have moved from Ohio down here, down to South Carolina, to Greenville, to the upstate, Spartanburg, but also Charlotte. You're right. Charlotte is a huge melting. Every big city I feel like that I've ever been to is a huge melting pot. But it is a weird situation where, like, if you go to downtown Charlotte, of course you meet Panther fans. Of course, if you go to a game, you see a bleep ton of Panthers fans and gear and all this stuff. But it's not like, here's what I'll say. It's not like when you think Charlotte, the very first thing you think is Panthers. And I think that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, you think Dallas, you think Cowboys. Sure. You know, you think other cities. A lot of people, New York, you think Knicks. You know what I mean? You think Charlotte. I don't know if everybody across the country in America, when they say Charlotte, they don't go Panthers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, it's because it's not the Charlotte Panthers. They didn't put the name of the city.
Basically is the Charlotte Panthers.
But like, right? to your point there, if we know what happened when the New York Knicks won the NBA Finals, they basically lit the city on fire. We know what happens in Chicago when they win something big. We know what happens in other major cities. But if the Carolina Panthers won the Super Bowl, like, would people be out in the streets?
No.
I don't think so, because truthfully, and I'm sure there's elements of this in every major city that you go to, but the city center core is so empty at night. There's nobody there. Like, nobody's going to be taken to the streets there in Charlotte. I mean, could you imagine not being able to drive down the road right in front of the Hilton Uptown Charlotte, where we had ACC kickoff a couple weeks ago, and not being able to move around there because throngs of Carolina Panthers fans are just filling the streets? Nah, I can't picture it.
And that's, I guess you could say that's sad, but I think it just goes to show what we're talking about here. You know, it's not that there's not fans. It's not that there aren't, like, passionate fans at all. It's just that it just feels different than a lot of these other big cities with, like, Charlotte's still a sports city. You still have the Panthers. You still have the Charlotte Hornets. But, hey, let's also throw this reality check in there. Neither have been good, you know?
Right.
And that doesn't help. It doesn't help.
I think there's an element, if you go back to the list that you asked, I think to start the 4 o'clock hour, about what NFL franchises feel the most pressure this year. There's not a pressure with the Carolina Panthers. I mean, it's a different kind of pressure. It's not a pressure of, we demand winning now from the fan base. There's a little bit of a pressure, and maybe it was more of a thing 2 years ago from Dave Tepper. Like, if you don't win now, we're going to fire the coach, fire the quarterback, blow this whole thing up and start over at any given time. That's a different kind of pressure, and that's more of a depressing pressure.
It's interesting, though. It is when you think about it. Let's go to the phone lines. Matt from Ohio, bringing a unique perspective, as he always does. Your thoughts on the conversation, Matt?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Great show.
Hey, Matt. Appreciate you.
I'll give you a couple things. First of all, Charlotte, when it comes to sports, is a relatively young city. You know, when you think about some of the teams that you mentioned, you know, Chicago, or, you know, from being from Ohio, and I was gonna call earlier. You talked about pressure. The Browns don't feel pressure. For us, it's desperation. But you know, it's more of that. But the teams in Charlotte, from a comparison standpoint to these other major league franchises, are relatively young.
Yeah.
You know, you think about the Hornets, you think about the Panthers. You know, you've got generational fans in a lot of these towns. You know,
that's true.
Bears fans have been Bears fans for 4 generations, 5 generations. You know, you have Browns fans. You know, whatever. Where these people have been fans. You know, my dad was a Browns fan. His dad was a Browns fan. You know, my great grandfather was a Browns fan. So I think you have to give Charlotte some time. It's a great city. My youngest son graduated from UNC Charlotte, but so I've spent a fair amount of time there. But I think you have to take into account that the sports franchises are young in comparison to other franchises. I think number 2, you guys hit it on the head. There are a lot of transplants. Number 3, and I think this one is a little bit underrated in passionate fan bases. Who is Charlotte's, like, let's just say Carolina Panthers, who would be like their rival in football, where you look at them and you say, we hate those guys? You know,
Falcons.
nothing breeds passion like rivalries. I mean, we see that in Ohio with Michigan. I mean, you know, every hero needs a villain, and I don't know that I feel like Charlotte has ever really had like, you know, hey, if you're a Cowboys fan, you know, you might hate the Eagles or you might hate the Redskins. You know, hey, you know, Ohio, you've got that in-state Bengals Browns thing. You know, in New York, here Jets or Giants, man. There are lines that are drawn, and I don't know that I think Charlotte has that to help in the passion.
Well, Matt,
I think that's a little bit. Yeah.
The only people that hate Charlotte are the people that have to drive through it every day.
No doubt.
Well, listen, man, I've spent time in a lot of big cities, and when you've been to Atlanta and Detroit and places like that, Charlotte's a walk in the park, my friend.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Matt, great call as always. Appreciate you. 844-326-3663. To his point, the Hornets were founded in 1988. The Panthers just 5 years later in 93. I agree with his take on the rivalry there.
Yeah, it's not the most mature, saturated sports city.
No, it's not.
The Hornets have existed throughout my entire lifetime, right? I mean, I was 4 when the Hornets were created. And so it takes a generation to even start getting fans and then to get those diehard passionate fans. But something that he brought up, and this is a theory that I've brought to the show a couple times, is up north you have a closely dense population of large cities. You got Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, New York, Boston, Baltimore, D.C., Chicago, Cincinnati, Cleveland. All these cities are fairly densely packed among each other. And most of them have every major sport. So it's not just like, I hate you guys during football season, and then, hey, we don't think about each other again for another 9 months. It's, I hate you during football season. Oh, that's over. Now it's basketball season. Oh, that's over. Now it's baseball season. Oh, that's over. Now it's hockey season.
And, you know, I don't even know what other fan base out there hates the Panthers the most. You know, like to his point about the rivalry, you would just have to say NFC South is their rivalries. But, like, there's not a hate.
There's no – Charlotte isn't – similarity breeds hatred more than you think.
I'll tell you this. Carolina Panthers, they don't have a rival. The Panthers, they don't like their NFC South opponents, of course. And just like every other organization, Panther fans hate Cowboy fans to an extreme. Like I've been at the game the last 3 years when they played Dallas and Charlotte, and Panther fans absolutely despise Dallas. If you remember back, I think it was the second year the Panthers were in existence, 94, the second year. Their first playoff win was like a 10 or 12 win Dallas team with Aikman and all those guys. That was their first ever playoff win. I think Dallas had just come off the Super Bowl the year before, something like that. But that was their first ever playoff win. It was a 10+ win Dallas team. So there's always hate there. I mean, everybody hates Dallas. But to Matt's point, I don't think they do have a true rival.
So here's the methodology behind the list. And I realize, gosh, here we are 14 minutes into the segment. We haven't even gotten to what the list is. Just the fact that Charlotte's not near the top of the list. So here's how they decide who the most passionate fan bases are. They base it on some algorithm of apparel purchases, general interest levels, whatever that means, live event attendance, betting intent, social media engagement, radio listenership, streaming habits, and linear TV viewership.
Wow.
So you somehow combine all those, throw them into a spreadsheet, and it spits out the most passionate fans in the country, especially when it comes to the NFL. Number 1, Buffalo. Big surprise. They break tables just because it's fun. Number 2, Kansas City. No surprise. They show up when it's as cold as Hoth, and they are still out there in force. Number 3, Green Bay. Number 4, Cincinnati. Number 5, Philadelphia. 6, Pittsburgh. 7, Baltimore. 8, Detroit. And 9 is a tie between New Orleans and Cleveland.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And where Carolina Panthers, where Charlotte ranks is 16.
16.
Less passionate than Nashville, more passionate than Indianapolis.
Less passionate than Nashville.
Yeah.
And that's weird because Nashville's not a foot. I mean, it's a music city. It's a music town. You know,
here's what they need to do. I think the NFL needs to redraw their divisions. They need to shuffle things up. And if you put Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta, DC in a conference or in a division, excuse me. Or trade Tampa if you want, trade New Orleans out if you want for DC. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you put Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta in a division, I think you could build something there.
I think so. Let's go to the phone lines, 844-326-3663. PT wants to get in. What's up, PT?
Hey, guys. Thanks for being there. I really enjoy your show. I hope y'all get rich someday.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. So, I don't want to go back in time, but there was a time when, both teams, the Hornets and the Panthers, were super hot. I'm old. I'm 60 years old, but there was a time when, there was wild passion. You can't say that 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but I don't know what happened in between that time. So that was my comment. I just wanted to say there was a time when I think we would have been ranked possibly in the top 10 at least, but there was a time with Cam Newton. There was a time with the Hornets.
Yep.
That, there was a lot of passion in both states.
Yeah,
You're thinking
Kimba Walker era.
I think he's thinking older than that. I think you're thinking
really?
the era of Lonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues, Del Curry, and Larry Johnson.
Yes, you're right. Unfortunately, going back, but there was passion. So my question, there was a lot of excitement. Maybe you're right, Diesel. Maybe the demographic has changed so much. I don't know, but something happened in between, that era and now. And you're right. There is absolutely zero merchandise. I don't see anybody wearing any gear. You're absolutely right. And I like your show and I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks,
Call
PT.
anytime. Thank you so much, PT. Tom in Somerville up next. Tom, your thoughts? We've already heard
We
Tom's
know Tom
thoughts
has
on the
passion.
Panthers. Yeah, Tom, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys. Well, the Panthers suck. They'll always suck. And I'm happy with that. But in all seriousness, when we talk about, not having, people excited to be Panthers fans or whatever, I mean, think about it like this. The majority of Panthers fans live in the southeast corner of the United States. The majority of them do.
Sure.
And the majority of those same people have college football teams they care about more than the Carolina Panthers. And
True.
so at the end of the day, if you are just say you are a Georgia fan or a Clemson fan or a South Carolina fan, most of the time you are putting that energy into Saturday.
And money.
And you may not care to use the same amount of energy on Sunday. And so I think that's a big part of it that nobody really talks about. Now, those people may be ashamed to be Panthers fans, and that's probably why they don't flaunt it. Because the one thing about college football, even if your team is awful, you're still going to flaunt that you're a fan of that team. You're going to put it out there. The NFL may not be the case. And I think that's, if the Panthers ever get back to winning football games and making the playoffs and winning the NFC championship and going back to the Super Bowl, those same people are coming out of woodworks. It's just, I think that's the biggest thing about it, is when they're not good, nobody cares.
Massive
Tom?
inconsistency.
There it is. Tom, you're right. I agree with you. Thanks for the call as always, Tom.
Go Gamecocks!
I do agree with what Tom says, and I'm thinking while Tom's talking, I'm thinking while you're talking, Diesel, I'm thinking while PT's talking as well. A few minutes ago, I said that a lot of the people that I know that are Panthers fans are passionate, which they are. So I'm thinking right now in my friend group and the people that I know that are Panthers fans, they are passionate Panthers fans, but I don't know that they're passionate in a way you would know they're Panther fans if you didn't know they were a Panther fan. Does that make sense? Like, I know them. Diesel, I know you.
They don't wear it on their sleeve.
No, and I know you, so I know because I know you that you're a Panthers fan. If I'm walking in the street, if I'm just casually interacting with you, guess what? Cole, I am so ignorantly proud of the Dallas Cowboys. In conversation, somehow, some way, you're going to know that I'm a Cowboys fan because it's just annoying, right? In the Panthers fandom, The only reason now that I think about it, the only reason that I know my friends are Panthers fans because I'm friends with them. It's not like that they're out wearing the Panthers gear. And again, I know there's not a lot to tout and not a lot of recent success, but you just don't see that same flamboyancy, if that's a word, Diesel, from the Panthers fan base as you do from other. You see more right here in the upstate. We'll get the text line in a second. You see more apparel in the upstate from the Steelers and the Cowboys and other teams than you do the Carolina Panthers, and I think that's a problem.
And part of it is that the Carolina Panthers, they established themselves and then they stopped the outreach, if that makes sense. Like there hasn't been, in my opinion, a huge push from the Carolina Panthers to convert the long-standing, entrenched Cowboys fandom that's around here,
Falcons,
and try to say, hey, you're a local now. You need to be a Carolina Panthers fan now. You need to shirk off your old chains of being a Cowboys fan or a Falcons fan or a Steelers fan or wherever you're from. And you need to be a Carolina Panthers fan because you're a local here now. Here's a couple things that stand out to me about this list before we get to the text line. Some glaring problems. I don't know how this happened. Again, they gave us the methodology. Somehow they say Jacksonville Jaguar fans are more passionate than Carolina Panthers fans, which I've only been to Jacksonville a handful of times. I don't see Jaguars gear in Jacksonville either. Yeah. It's a military town. It's a very different kind of town. And then for some reason, Chicago and Boston are 20 and 21 on this list. And we're talking that's about Bears fans and Patriots fans.
That's trash.
How is this possible?
There's no way. I mean,
again, we have
go back to those metrics, right?
Apparel purchases, live event attendance, which I'm sure those two are off the charts for
now
those two teams.
You just absolutely crushed my validity. I mean, any validity this list had is gone out the window now. When you said Boston and Chicago were that low,
social media engagement has got to be through the roof about the Patriots. Radio listenership in Boston is through the roof about them. Streaming habits and linear TV viewership.
Those are two of the most passionate fan base.
I know that, like, you may say to yourself, this doesn't sound right, but if the numbers are bearing out that this is the case, either they did a horrible job gathering the numbers or the numbers just aren't as big as people think they are, which I don't know how that happens. I don't know how Boston has a less radio listenership to the Boston, to the Patriots radio stations than would the Carolina Panthers fans. No disrespect to our fan Mac and Bone.
No, I'm with you. 100% on that. Dan B asked Diesel, where is Denver on that list? Do you have that information?
Is slotted in at number 12.
Number 12 are the Denver Broncos.
After Minneapolis and Cleveland.
On the text line, 844-326-3663, the Ingles Markets text line. Texter says, the Panthers' rival, I guess, is Atlanta, but heck, half the Panther fans were once Falcons fans. Ain't much hate there, really. And see, that's the point. Like, before the Panthers, guess what? There were no, you had to choose. Falcons, Cowboys, whatever, Dolphins.
Yeah.
Let's see. Texter says the Panthers' rival, that's the same text. Texter says Charlotte, and heck, you in North Carolina, South Carolina college area season, the passion is in college sports, not pro sports. That comes from Cocky for a reason. Texter from the 325. Personally, I have less interest in the Panthers since they moved training camp from Spartanburg. I agree with you. Terrible. But I'm not sure the rest of the upstate would feel the same way. No, that's a huge part of the upstate. Having training camp was one of the things that Spartanburg hung its hat on more than any other thing. And losing the Panthers training camp, talk about awful. Awful doesn't even describe it.
The only thing that I can think of, now I'm trying to unlogic their logic here, is that the cities that are the biggest cities in America, they are huge.
Mm-hmm.
And the number of people that are fans buying the merch, watching the games, going to games, streaming it on TV, all that, listening to the radio stations, tweeting about it on social media, it is such a small fraction of a much larger market because New York is listed on this list as 30. LA is listed as 29, Miami 28, San Francisco 27. All I can think there is those cities have enormous populations.
Yeah.
Just fewer people are paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bigger number of people who are consuming all of these things, but it's a smaller percentage of the overall population.
Texter from the 828 says, don't sleep on Jags fans. It's interesting. It really is an interesting conversation. Diesel, we've got to run off the break. On the other side, what do we feel most confident about? What are our biggest concerns? Earlier in the show at 4 o'clock, you and I made our official predictions. This is our last chance to make any changes. We've had an hour and a half to divulge, to think on what we said. We predicted it for our last chance to change anything before the show's over in an hour and a half or so. What we feel most confident about when it comes to our predictions and our biggest concerns. That's next. Well, this is our last chance to make any edits, Diesel, any revisions. At 4 o'clock on the show, you and I made our predictions for the Clemson 2026 football season schedule. Tolos, if you just tuned in, you didn't hear that, you can go back and listen on the free Odyssey app or rehash it right now. But I want to know, it was an hour and a half ago we made those predictions. Do you feel any different? Because anytime you do something, you always have like a feeling of, okay, either regret or feel good about it. What would you say right now, looking at your predictions as I pull mine up, what do you say you feel the best about? And don't give me like a Georgia Southern type game. That doesn't count because we know that game's already won for Clemson.
Well, I just want to remind you, Cole, that I have a note in my Phil Steele magazine, in this little space below the schedule, that Tom in Somerville bet you that Clemson would go under 8 wins. Timestamp July 14th.
God, that was a month ago.
I wrote down the date. A month and 4 days ago, Tom bet you that Clemson would go sub 8 wins, so 7 or fewer. You went 10 in your preseason prediction about an hour ago. I also went 10-2. We have that second loss coming in 2 different games. Both of us have them losing at LSU to start the season. I still feel pretty confident in that. I would be blown away if they found a way to win that game.
So you're still at 10-2?
Still at 10-2. I feel like 10-2 might be a little optimistic.
I did too.
And I feel
the same way.
Because I've got them winning a stretch of 7 straight games to end the season. And that's hard for any team to do, to win 7 straight. Not that this is a murderer's row schedule.
No, it's
Charleston
a weak
Southern,
schedule.
VT, at Florida State, at Syracuse, Georgia Tech, at Duke, South Carolina to end the season. It's not a murderer's row. South Carolina, I think, is by far the toughest game in that stretch, followed by probably Duke on the road, Syracuse on the road, then Virginia Tech. If I had to rank the 4 as far as how tough I think they are.
So I originally had them at 10-2 as well, and I just an hour and a half later, it's too bold. I think it's too bold. I know that this schedule's weak sauce. I'm gonna just be real simple here, and I'm gonna put them losing to Miami. Okay. 10-2 from 7-6 to 10-2. I don't know
with the new quarterback.
Yeah, I just don't know. That might be a little unrealistic. We might sound like the other radio station in town if we give them too much credit. I don't want to be. I'm not saying they can't be a 10-2 ceiling type of team. I think they're capable of upsetting a team, but I just don't know that they're in that territory yet. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to 9-3. I feel more comfortable. And this is where I need to. This was my bad. This was my fault. I feel more comfortable telling you 9-3 opposed to 10-2. I don't feel comfortable telling you 10-2.
Stop the presses. Cole says Clemson's going to lose to Miami. That's the easiest one to switch.
It is, but who else would you switch? Florida State?
Here's what concerns me. I am mildly concerned about that short week road trip to Cal. And that's not to say that I don't think Clemson out-talents Cal. I know that Clemson out-talents Cal. But those West Coast road trips are tough. You know? I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. I realize I'm kind of like working through the logic here at the same time.
Yeah.
Cal has to make cross-country flights for games every other week, basically. I mean, like we're complaining about Clemson having to do it once, but Cal has to do it constantly. Cal has to fly to Syracuse. Cal then has to fly to SMU. Cal has to fly to NC State. Cal has to fly back for Virginia. So they got to do it 4 times. Clemson only has to do it 1 to go out west to them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're a little more used to it. Cal doesn't bring back a whole lot of experience. That's the thing that still gives me confidence to beat Cal. Their defense is going to be tough. It's going to be rough this year. Their offense might be okay.
So you and I both have them losing to LSU out of the gate.
Correct.
You know, that's one of those. Let me just be quite frank here. I do have them losing that game, but here's what's wild. I could see.
Ooh, you're getting more confident about LSU.
I could be more confident about LSU than I am Miami. I could talk myself into saying Clemson has a better chance to go on the road. And I know this sounds crazy, but I could talk myself into saying, hey, Clemson has a better chance to get LSU before LSU starts rolling under Lane Kiffin. Miami's already rolling under Mario Cristobal. They played for a national championship last year, right? I'm not going to change. I still have them losing to LSU, but Georgia Southern, North Carolina, Cal, I am concrete there. I have no reservations. They're 3-1. I'm going to change it to losing to Miami, so I have them 3-2. If they're 3-2, Clemson fans probably feel like, oh, well, nothing's changed. If you're 3-2 at that point, you brought this up earlier, you don't really feel any better. In fact, you kind of feel the same as you do right now. It's like, oh, we can win the ones we're supposed to, but we're still not Clemson of old, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where I am on that. Charleston Southern, VT, not worried about. The road game at Florida State, I mean, Florida State did beat Alabama last year. They did beat Alabama. You know, if you told me today they lose on Halloween night at Florida State, I'm not surprised by it. I'm just not I'm not predicting it because they did lose last year to teams they weren't supposed to lose to on paper, right? I think that Florida State game could be trickier than people think. Depending on how now. That game depends on what Florida State's done up to that point. You said earlier you think Mike Norvell might be ghosted out on Halloween night. Is that right?
Unemployment line on November 1st.
I don't know. It's just tough.
How are you not more concerned about the Virginia Tech game?
I just don't know that their overall talent. I think Clemson defensively at home will pretty much be able to kind of handle Virginia Tech.
Here's my thought process on that.
Uh-huh.
Clemson, played and lost to, didn't they lose to Penn State in a bowl game last year?
Last year, yeah.
Most of the guys that transferred into Virginia Tech are from Penn State. They brought in 10 starters.
Yeah.
They brought in a bunch of defensive transfers also. Let's see. Virginia Tech's quarterback, Ethan Grunkmeyer.
Yeah.
What a name. He's from Penn State. They got a wide receiver from Penn State. They've got, let's see, Quayshawn Brown from Duke, who was really good last year.
Mm-hmm.
Starting tight end is from Penn State. I mean, they got a bunch of dudes that followed James Franklin from Penn State. So to automatically dismiss the Hokies is maybe a little aggressive.
Look, you can, in college football nowadays, you can turn things around quickly with a portal. And to your point about the Penn State guys, I'm not saying they can. I still think that'll be a tough game. I just think Clemson has the dudes defensively to go into that game at home after coming off of a loss to Miami 2 weeks before. You get a tune-up game with Charleston Southern. You're in a better spot. I think Clemson wins that game. I feel pretty confident in that one. I don't know that I feel real confident in Florida State. It really, to me, all depends on what Florida State does. That's what, before that. Syracuse, a little worry. Depending on Steve Angeli, if he's healthy, if they're playing. I mean, they were horrible last year when he got hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech and Duke, I don't have any really concern. Mintz is gone. So,
yeah.
We saw what happened last year between those two teams. South Carolina, of course, there's concern. It's a rivalry game, and the road team's been better, right, the last few years. So all I'm saying is what I get at, Diesel, is the way I put a bow on this is I just feel a lot more comfortable with 9-3 than I do with 10-2. I just feel more comfortable. Now, what are those three games they lose? You and I can go back and forth. We can argue. We can debate which of those three games they lose. But telling you Clemson with a lot of unproven areas on this team is going to be 10-2. After I said it out loud, I said, you have to sometimes just say things out loud. After I said that out loud, I said, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable. Is that their ceiling? Or is 11-1? I think 10-2 might be their ceiling, right?
Okay.
10-2, but
yeah,
I just feel comfortable with 9.
Now, Tom has a problem with us even considering redoing our picks because Tom says If Cole can change his, then y'all should redo your bet to under 9 wins.
Me and Tom?
Yeah, you and Tom.
Well, this same day.
It was under
same
8.
day, same show. Same day, same show, Tom.
So he's got a point here. You know, you
so
meet in the
Tom.
middle
So
here.
wait a minute. Tom's now scared of Clemson.
I guess so.
So Tom's now scared of Clemson. So he's wanting to move the goalpost. So now, whoa. Tom, where's your confidence right now?
I thought, Tom, you say Clemson sucks all the time. Why do you not have the confidence that Clemson will actually suck?
Cocky for a reason says Clemson to go 10-2. I'll take that bet right now. Ribeyes, whole chicken, salmon fillets, ribs, all for it. Cocky for a reason. JT and Greer gets in. He says Clemson over the past few years has blown a game or two. They weren't favored. I agree, JT. They have. Texter says, check out Clemson's record when ESPN Game Day's present, then check out their winning streak when Clemson's the road team. Hadn't had game day in a while, right?
What does that matter?
Yeah. Jersey Joe says that the Hokies are going to beat Clemson. Ethan Grunkmeyer did it all last year with Penn State, and he's going to do it with Va-Tac. Look at Jersey Joe.
I mean, it gives me reason for pause. I look at it as a trap game because it's middle of the season. They may have some footing underneath them. They may be gelled as a team, and it's a little bit of a trap game.
Texter says Penn State sucked, all caps, last year. Texter says Tom should be able to change his pick. So, Tom, are you scared that now originally you said they wouldn't win more than 8. Now you're saying, oh, they'll win.
So Tom's been confident in his 8-win pick for a month now.
What changed?
And because you want to change your pick now, he's not confident in it anymore.
So, Tom, I'll make you a deal. If you call in, I know it'd be a repeat call, but if you call in before the 6 o'clock break, you've got 7 minutes. If you call in before then and explain why you should be able to change your pick, I might do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Well, I wrote it in pen. I wrote it in Sharpie, as a matter of fact, in the magazine. So we'll have to change that too.
If he calls.
If he calls back in. If Tom's not busy. When we come back, Cole, you know the LA Lakers are not the only team in the city of LA where things are going awry. Right? They're not the only team that's having their issues. So part 2 of lack of institutional control going on in the city of LA. We'll talk about that to close out the 5 o'clock hour, unless Tom calls next. Well, the soap opera in LA continues, Cole. Suffice it to say that the NBA doesn't like the way ESPN has reported on the Kawhi Leonard situation. They say you are not reporting accurate information, kind of like a Shane Beamer situation, right? He's all about accuracy.
Yeah.
And our listeners, I know, are locked in on that story, but we're going to pivot here in the last couple of minutes of this segment. We got Tom in Somerville back on the phone. The bet from July 14th, Tom, was 8 wins for the Clemson Tigers. You bet that Clemson would not win 8 games. So you bet the under on 8 games. Cole, I guess, took the over on it. Cole wants to adjust his picks. Now you feel like you should be able to adjust yours as well. Tell us why.
So, in my unbiased opinion, because Cole likes to say I'm
You're scared.
I'm not scared. So, you just changed your prediction from 10-2 to 9-3
On the same show. Yeah, on the same show on the same day.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. All I'm saying is we changed from 7-5 to 8-4.
So you think Clemson? So what is the bet? Explain it to me.
If Clemson goes 8-4 or worse, I win. If they go 9-3 or better, you win.
So here's the thing, Tom. You are an avid investor, right?
Correct.
You know that when you invest, if you want to change the odds or if you want to change the terms of the bet, then you have to give up. You have to pay a little bit more to change the terms of the bet. What are you willing to put on the line here to be allowed to adjust your total up to 8 wins?
Okay, so the original bet included a steak, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So Cole, your choice here. You can go shrimp, you can go lobster, you can go homemade mac and cheese, you can go. You pick.
All right. How about this? I get to pick.
You can pick
a steak after. No. A steak. Me and you, a steak in downtown Charlotte after we go to a Panthers game that you pay for.
Wow, but all right, that's a big step up.
So now you've got to travel to Charlotte, buy the Panthers game tickets, Tom, and pay for the steak and lobster.
Or we can remove the steak and it can be concessions in the Panther Stadium.
But now I want steak.
God.
We'll do what you said. That's fair. That's fair.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Panthers tickets and concessions.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Well, I mean, I was fine with a steak. I mean, we're still gonna have to eat no matter what we do.
It's fair.
You're right, Tom. I'll agree to that. Let's see what the Clemson Tigers do. Always appreciate you.
Thanks, Tom.
Of course, I'm ready for upset picks. I got my week 0 games on paper. I am ready.
Thanks,
oh
Tom.
my God, these are freaking
Now I got to make a note of this since we've adjusted the terms. Now it's bet up to 9 wins.
Tom is something else. Diesel, let's get back into the conversation earlier in the show. It was a good one. Let's dive back into it. We got to get back into you and the Lee Corso deal, but also the Indiana disrespect. We'll touch on it next.